What's up, y'all? We're going to try to get a few more people in here. Hello, everyone who's joining. We're talking skincare. And if you've ever been to one of these lives before, you know that we talk all things skincare. And my goal is to answer every single question in the chat. Hello, Sour Patch. Hello, Liz Solutions. Welcome to the live. We're just waiting for some more people to get up in this live. I'm also live on YouTube. So we're both doing streaming on TikTok as well as streaming on YouTube. And we're going to be talking today about just really answering your skincare questions in general. I'm a licensed esthetician in the Los Angeles area. Hello, Carla. Welcome to the live. Welcome everybody who's joining. Make sure that you get your questions ready to go. For anybody who's not familiar with these lives, I'm a licensed esthetician in Los Angeles. I love talking about hyperpigmentation as well as acne. I do these lives in order to make sure that we can walk through every single one of your questions, because you never know what somebody's going to ask and what somebody may think they thought they might want to ask, but somebody else was able to ask in advance. So we've got a few goals that we want to hit for today's chat. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live. I'm going to be answering your skincare questions for the next hour and a half. I'm a licensed esthetician in the Los Angeles area for anybody new that's joining. So please put your questions in the chat if you have questions. We're also streaming now on YouTube as well. So it's going to be a little bit of you all and a little bit of these folks over here. So you never know what people are going to ask. The rules of this live is I answer every single question in the chat. So if you have a question, then go ahead and put it in the chat. We're also wanting to make sure that we get to various goals for this live, especially with likes. So we're going to try to hit a goal of 10,000 likes for this live. And you all are such an amazing audience that a lot of times we hit that goal and we surpass it dramatically. So any questions that you have as far as skincare, hyperpigmentation, acne, I'm an acne skincare specialist. Make sure that you leave it in the chat. There's been a lot of conversation. Thank you so much for the likes so far. We're getting these likes in. And also make sure that you share the live as well, so that way we can get more people in here who have questions that are wanting to get some of their skincare questions and goals hopefully reached by the time we end this live. And so again, thank you so much for joining. For everybody who's jumping in, there's been I've been posting a couple of pieces of TikToks lately, and those have been really mostly about answering some of the comments that you all have. And you all have a lot of questions as it relates to tretinoin, especially, and how to layer tretinoin. You need help with fungal acne. We've got our first question. All right, so I'm good. How are you? So let me answer. What's your question as far as fungal acne is concerned? So whenever you're dealing with fungal acne in general, you want to make sure that you understand that it's not the same as bacterial acne. It requires just a slightly different type of treatment. You can use things like dandruff shampoo on your face, and that can help with treating the fungal acne. Azelaic acid is also helpful in treating fungal acne, as well as mandelic acid. So if you are going to use like a anti-dandruff shampoo, you would only use it maybe a few times a week, maybe no more than 2-3 times a week, and then allow it to sit on your face for like 1 to 2 minutes. Because if you use it more than 1 to 2 times, maybe 2 to 3 times a week, then it could damage your skin barrier. And that is not what you're trying to do at this point. You're trying to help your skin, not hurt your skin. And then the azelaic acid also has antifungal qualities. So if you are cleansing your skin with the dandruff shampoo about 2 to 3 times a week and then daily adding in azelaic acid into the mix, then that will help to start to hopefully see you clear it up in the like 1 to 2 weeks. Thank you so much for your question. Thank you so much, y'all. Make sure you leave your questions in the chat while I am answering your skincare questions. Millie, how are you? I'm good, Millie. Thank you so much for your question. Let's see. What are you asking? How are you? What can I use to get rid of dehydration lines on my forehead? Anything that's going to be very hydrating from a serum perspective. So peptide serums are usually formulated with hyaluronic acid. So you definitely want to be incorporating things that are humectants into your skincare routine. Centella asiatica, panthenol, all of these are going to be things that you can use. I actually started using Purito's. They have a really great serum that I think they're coming out with pretty soon. I think I'm going to do a review on it. But they have a Centella asiatica serum that really helps with, adding in moisture back into the skin and also supporting your skin barrier. So you can do something like that. Ordinary, a lot of people have like issues with the Ordinary. I mean, it's affordable. So it's very easy to use, but their peptide serum is something that's formulated with hyaluronic acid. If you use it in the mornings after you tone and cleanse, or cleanse and tone, then that can help with adding hydration back in your skin and adding in helping with that dehydration. And then just making sure to moisturize consistently. Moisturize in the morning, moisturize at night. And if you're just consistent with those things, as well as like drinking water internally, it doesn't necessarily directly affect dehydration, but it does help to add hydration to your body, which eventually allows for there to be more hydration in your skin. So try all those things and see if any of that works for you. Thank you so much for the questions, y'all. We have some people up in here in this live. Thank you so much for joining. If you've not joined these lives before, I answer every single question in the chat. So make sure you leave your question and just hold tight, because I'm going to get to every single one. We're trying to hit a goal of 10,000 likes as well. So make sure you share this live, and do not ask the question twice. I get through every single one. So, and I'm making sure to pin each question so you all know that it's there. Miss Battleborn, I'm sorry, I cannot read these names, y'all. Do you think hormonal acne is directly tied to gut health? I mean, hormonal cystic acne. There are some correlations that can tie hormonal cystic acne to gut health. And that's because depending on whatever it is that you're ingesting, it can impact your androgen hormones, and your androgen hormones also impact the rate at which you have oil production. So if you have bad gut health, then that can affect your skin, and it can affect your acne, and it can trigger hormonal changes. So just keep that in mind. So there are some correlations to diet and just internal health and acne, depending on the type of acne and depending on your individual body. So you want to make sure that you're staying as healthy as possible, staying away from processed foods, a lot of sugar, don't drink sodas, none of that shit. That also can be a contributing factor to acne. And then also like processed soy, it's heavy in estrogen hormones. And so that can also impact cystic acne. When I had a lot of cystic acne, I was also a vegan, and I was eating a lot of processed soy. And once I stopped eating the processed soy, some of my cystic acne cleared up significantly. I still had some that was lingering, but most of it cleared up. But there are some correlations, yes. So just stay as healthy as possible. Thank you so much for your question. All right, next question. All right, just got it in October. Not sure how to fix it. I've had clear skin before, and then I'm 34. Okay, so this was about the dehydrated skin. Yeah, you just have to be hydrating your skin with lots of humectants, and that can help with clearing up and just adding some more hydration and moisture to your skin as much as possible. That Purito that I mentioned, they also have a barrier cream that they've pushed out. I use Round Lab Docdo moisturizer. It's a really great moisturizer. Youth to the People has a Aptogen cream that's beautiful. It's great, especially if you have really dry skin, if you're experiencing a lot of dehydration. A lot of Korean skincare, some brands just across across the board, a lot of them focus on barrier repair. Dr. Althea, I think it's their 345 or 147 cream. I think it's the 147 cream. It's what helps with barrier repair. So that can help with dehydration as well. Thank you so much for the follows, everybody. Thank you so much for the likes. Let's keep these likes coming in. And let's keep these questions coming in. For anybody new, I'm a licensed esthetician here in the Los Angeles area, and I'm answering all of your skincare questions. I answer every single question in the chat, so don't ask it twice. I will get to it. What's the best product for hyperpigmentation, dark marks for your face? I'll give you 3 products that I really love for hyperpigmentation. One of them being Hyper. They have a brightening serum, and it's a vitamin C serum, and it has kojic acid, alpha-arbutin. It has a lot of really great tyrosinase inhibitors. Just overall, the philosophy, and you can get this in my free hyperpigmentation guide. You can find that at the top of my page in my stand store. But I call it my mate's method. It's melanin transfer blockers, antioxidants, tyrosinase inhibitors, exfoliants, and SPF. And this is the method that you want to be using in order to fade hyperpigmentation. You want to see these categories in your products if you want to find a really good product that's going to help you. And just think about it as a system. You have to use it morning and night. It's not going to be just one thing. It's going to be a multitude of things that you incorporate into a skincare routine. So just keep all of that in mind. Now, going back to your question as far as like what products, retinoids are also going to be something great in addition to Hyper. Hyper is a vitamin C, but it also has tyrosinase inhibitors. Retinoids are also going to be a really wonderful way to go if you want something that's going to absolutely support hyperpigmentation. I use Medic 8. Geek and Gorgeous is a really good retinaldehyde. Naturium has an affordable retinaldehyde that's actually pretty decent. I also sell Skin Script. Their retinaldehyde is actually really nice. It's just a 0.1%. So if you're somebody who's new to retinaldehyde, it might be a little too much for you. But those I say would be my like 3 favorite retinaldehydes. And then the other thing I would say is a really good exfoliant. So something that has lactic and mandelic acid. If you have really oily skin and your skin can handle it, a glycolic acid. So PSA actually has a licorice root and mandelic acid toner that I think is awesome. And then Dr. Dennis Gross peel pads. If you've been on my lives before, you know that I love a good Dr. Dennis Gross peel pads. So you integrate all of that into a skincare routine. Stop thinking that it has to be one particular product. It's never going to be one product. I know that all these influencers try to sell you all on one product. It's never going to be that. It's going to have to be a full-on system and skincare routine. And that's where you're going to see more results from fading your hyperpigmentation. Thank you so much for the question, though. I really appreciate it. I hope that was the answer that you needed to hear. And if you feel like you want more context or you want more examples, then you all can always DM me. I do answer my DMs. And sometimes it takes me a while because y'all do love the DM. But I do try to get to every single DM. What eye cream and night cream do you recommend for over 40? I think Beauty of Joseon has a really wonderful retinol and green tea eye cream that you can use on a nightly and even daily basis. Usually you want to stick to retinaldehydes or retinoids for underneath the eyes at night. But I think that's a really lovely one. Medic 8 also has a good one. That's a great night cream, eye cream. And I'm specifically talking about retinoids because as you get older, you're losing collagen and elastin. So if you're over the age of 40, you want to be rebuilding that. And also it can help with dark circles and fine lines. So I would say those would be the ones that I think are the best out there. So thank you so much for your question. I hope that was helpful. Let's see. Let's go to the next question. For everybody new that's joining, I'm a licensed esthetician in the Los Angeles area. Thank you for joining the live. I'm answering your skincare questions. I'm also streaming live on YouTube. And so I want to make sure I get to every single question in the chat. So leave your question in the chat if you have a question. We are also trying to get to 10,000 likes during this live. So definitely keep tapping that screen. Let's get these likes going. All right, Magical Malloys. Oh my God, I cannot read. The Magical Malloys. I'm 42, lost 92 pounds. I have 100 to go. Good job, girl. Give it. Yo, let's give us some claps in the chat for the Magical Malloy. She is like killing it right now. Let's make sure we get some cheers in the chat. I have 100 to go. A turkey neck, is beginning to show. How do I correct this? So anytime you're going to have loose skin, that is going to require more of a dermatological plastic surgery type of corrective treatment. Skincare is not going to be able to do anything with like really loose skin. You have to pull the skin tight, and that would require you going to a plastic surgeon or a dermatologist and getting more of an understanding as to what those options look like, because it will require more invasive treatment. Now, just to kind of, if you have like maybe some fine lines, things like that in certain areas, that can be helped with retinoids, but that is so like superficial and surface layer. It's not going to get you the look that you're really looking to go for, especially considering that you have a little bit of loose skin that you're wanting to then pull tight. So yeah, you're going to have to go to a dermatologist, a plastic surgeon, to get a better understanding as to what your options are as far as getting that neck and removing some of that excess skin. Thank you so much for your question. Hi, Tracy. Is new Medic 8 peptide or freeze frame peptide better? I think the Medic 8 peptide is better. And it's just got a really great formulation. Freeze frame is pretty good too. But I also think that a lot of times products are very specific to what works for you and what you think makes the most sense. They have very similar formulations. So it just comes down to how it feels on your skin and how it works for you. I'm just a Medic 8 girly, so I hate to say that I'm biased, but I just really prefer how it feels on my skin. I prefer how my skin reacts to it. So I would say that, but I think that freeze frame is also a good peptide. So it's hard to tell what is going to be better than the other, because my opinion is going to be different than your opinion, but I prefer the Medic 8. Thank you so much, Tracy, for your question. For anybody new that's joining the chat, I'm a licensed esthetician in the Los Angeles area. I am answering your skincare questions. I am answering every single question that comes through the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Good Life Gemma. Yeah, I've heard a lot that I look like Solange. That's something that I get quite often. So I really appreciate that. She's a beast. So, I'm not going to knock it. I'm just going to love it. What can I help to... Let me answer this next question. What can help lighten dark circles around the eyes? Is it more internal? It's a combination of internal and external, depending on what the internal factors are. So when we're talking about dark circles underneath the eyes, and if you're not getting a lot of sleep, or if it's hereditary, or you're drinking a lot, or you're smoking excessively, all of these are contributing factors to dark circles underneath the eye. The very first thing you want to do is just, if you're not sleeping, you got to get some sleep. You got to get some sleep and eat healthy. And so once you are doing those things, a lot of times that's going to really significantly reduce puffy eyes, dark circles, a lot of things like that, unless it's hereditary. If your mom or your dad and all those people have dark circles, 9 times out of 10, you're just going to have that. You have dark circles, and you have to do things to combat it. You can use retinol. There are some like telehealth companies that you can go to that are a little bit more harsh, but it's harsh. It's like hydroquinone, tretinoin. It's a lot for the skin. So if you're not like used to doing something like that, you would just have to be consistent with retinoids at night and then vitamin C during the day. And that can help to hopefully somewhat reduce some of those dark circles. Thank you so much for your question. Drew Webb, what should I do if the middle of my forehead dries and flakes up? You should hydrate. You should hydrate and moisturize. But it also depends on why it's drying up and flaking. Is it because you applied something to it? Are you applying exfoliants and retinoids? If that's the case, you need to stop using the exfoliants and retinoids, because you're irritating your skin, and your skin is reacting to that. So it may be too much for you. But if you are not doing that and you just have really dry skin, or you have some sort of dermatitis, first of all, if you have any sort of sensitivities or dermatitis, you just want to make sure that you're removing any sort of fragrances, essential oils, keeping your skincare very, very simple until your skin starts to heal up, as well as starts to take in some of that hydration because it's losing too much water. And then secondarily, just continuing to moisturize and hydrate as much as possible. whether it's serums that have a lot of humectants. Various serums could work well. I love a good Korean skincare serum when it comes to hydration. And then moisturizing in the day as well as at night. Don't stop moisturizing, y'all. Thank you so much for the gifts. Thank you so much for the gifts. That was a lovely rose. I really appreciate it. All right. Thank you so much, y'all, for these questions. I'm going on to the next question. Okay, Miss Parker. What's up, Miss Parker? How do I get rid of horizontal line on my nose? Are you pushing up your nose? Because that used to happen to me. So I used to have I have really bad allergies. And what would happen is I would push my nose up on a regular basis. So it depends on how the line got there. Outside of that, it's consistent using hyperpigmentation products. So if you use retinoids, if you use exfoliants on a consistent basis, not over exfoliating, but just using enough to where you are getting some dead skin cells off, like 1 to 2 times a week, then that can help to, over time, remove that line that's happening with your nose. So thank you so much for the question. What about acne on the back? What's up, Christina? So Christina's asking about acne on the back. So whenever you have acne on your back, you can use salicylic acid cleansers. Naturium has one, Necessaire, CeraVe. Let's see, there's a few other, I think Panaxil actually has a body cleanser. I'm not sure if it's salicylic acid or if it's benzoyl peroxide, but they have one as well. What's up, Ray Ray? I don't know how you got here. So let's disconnect you. Sorry about that, y'all. I don't know. I think I actually pushed something. Sorry about that, everybody. I will invite people in here if you all want to come in here. I'm just not doing that right this second. But we may do that towards the end of the live, or we might do it if there's a specific question that you all have, and we can just answer it in more of like a virtual consultation sort of setting. But if you are trying to get rid of back knee, then that would probably be the way to go. A salicylic acid body wash or a serum. Necessaire has a good serum specifically for body acne. Topicals has Slather, and that has retinol in them and that can help with body acne as well. So try any of that. You can also get a back facial. And if you get a back facial, that kind of resets your skin a little bit. So that way you get somebody who's back there, who's doing extractions. They can really do a lot of good treatments for places that maybe you can't reach. But in the interim, you can do like a body wash that has salicylic acid, and that will help to reduce some of the acne. What's up, Red? Hey. All right, Tracy. Gray, recommendations for post-acne hyperpigmentation on very oily skin. So if you have post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation and very oily skin, then glycolic acid can be a good exfoliant for you to use. I have a whole method called the MATES method. It's melanin transfer blockers, antioxidants, tyrosinase inhibitors, exfoliants, and SPF. And when you go to the top of my page, I have a free guide that you can download that breaks it all down for you. But essentially, you want an entire skincare routine, especially if you have oily skin. So you can use like kojic acid and honey cleansers because you have oily skin. It could be more drying for some people, but it could actually work really well for you. And Rosen Skincare has one. Ueda has one that you can try. And that can be a great way to help with like evening skin tone and starting that fading process. Then for a toner, you can either use a hydrating toner that's not going to be overly drying because you just use the kojic acid cleanser, or you can use a mandelic acid toner, and that's going to help with fading some of that hyperpigmentation. But you don't need to have a toner, so it's just not 100% necessary. You can then go with like a vitamin C serum that has tyrosinase inhibitors. It's important that we're always using vitamin C serums with tyrosinase inhibitors if we're actually trying to fade hyperpigmentation. A vitamin C serum alone is not going to do anything for dark spots. It's just not. And I know people try to convince you of that, but don't waste your money ever on a vitamin C serum that does not have tyrosinase inhibitors if you're actually trying to fade your hyperpigmentation. It will be a waste of your money and it will just piss you off. So Hyperskin is a really good one that also has like a little bit of salicylic acid, so it can help with oil control. And then for your moisturizer, You can use just a lightweight moisturizer that's like a moisturizing gel. Neutrogena has a hyaluronic acid gel. Kiehl's has a really good one. That's a gel moisturizer that is for oily skin. And then at night, and make sure during the day to always wear a tinted SPF. Depending on your skin shade range, Live Tinted has a wide shade range. Also, the Roche-Posay has a tinted sunscreen. Eucerin has tinted sunscreen, and so does Elta MD. So tinted sunscreens are very important if you're treating post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And even if you have oily skin, it works well. And then at night, retinoids for sure. Retinaldehydes, I've mentioned Geek and Gorgeous, Naturium, Medigate. Those are all pretty decent retinaldehyde serums. And then you want to make sure that you're exfoliating consistently. Dr. Dennis Gross Peel Pads has these varying levels of peel pads that you can try. And they have one that's more formulated if you have oily and more tolerant skin. So try any of that, and that can help with fading your post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. I also have a book called Heal, Fade, Glow that you can also get from the top of my page, or you can go to bblskincare.com, and that walks you through how to fade hyperpigmentation if you have acne. So if you're somebody who is dealing with skin barrier issues, acne, hyperpigmentation, it helps you to walks you through how to heal your acne while also reducing the potential for really traumatized dark spots. Doesn't mean you're not going to get dark spots. It just helps you reduce the newer spots. It's easier for them to fade over time. Thank you so much for the question. Thank you so much for the likes, y'all. We're at 3,000 likes. We're trying to get to 10,000 likes, so keep tapping that screen. These are amazing questions. Gilman, you just got Cicaplast Balm. Is it good for redness? Cicaplast Balm is not necessarily formulated for redness or erythema. That's not what it's meant for, unless you're talking about just red skin, irritated skin all the time overall. It can help with reducing the irritation of your skin overall, but it has nothing to do with like erythema or red spots on your face. So not sure which one you mean, but for redness in general, it can help with soothing your skin. So that way it can help with reducing some of the redness, unless you're talking about rosacea, and that's totally different. Thank you so much for these questions. What's the basic skincare? Red is asking, what's the basic skincare system to start off with for milia-prone skin? Exfoliation is going to be some of the best things that you can do for milia-prone skin. And I used to have like a chunk of milia that sat right here. So I've mentioned Dr. Dennis Gross Peel Pads a few times. Those to me have been the best that I've seen that works well for milia on the forehead. And essentially, for anybody who doesn't know what milia is, it's just dead skin cells and oil that gets packed in tight. So how it forms like these really hard, I would say like whiteheads, but they're not quite whiteheads because they don't. It's very difficult to get rid of them. And usually, if you're going to a med spa, they would lance them and remove them that way. And it just takes a long time to really like break down some of the skin and oil associated with the milia. So utilizing an exfoliant can really help with that over time. It's not going to be an immediate result, but it can help. Incorporating retinoids into your skincare routine can also help. So I would say retinoids start with 1 time a week, then move up to getting to like 4 to 5 times a week. That helps with just unclogging the oil, breaking that down. It also helps with pushing some of those new skin cells and skin cell turnover. It increases that. So that way, as you're exfoliating, it can hopefully start to push some of that milia more up to the surface. So you can continue to see the exfoliants help to break down some of the excess skin that's associated with the milia. And also azelaic acid can really be a benefit to helping with milia as well. You can utilize azelaic acid in the morning, or you can use it on maybe the nights that you would have your retinoids. Just be careful that if your skin is intolerant to using retinoids and azelaic acid together, then it can actually irritate your skin. So just, keep that in mind. So do that. And then if you want something a little bit more detailed, then you can DM me and I'll send that to you. What's up, V Brown? We got eye bags. What about eye bags? You can reduce eye bags by using things that are going to help to cool underneath the eye. First of all, get some sleep. That's like the very first thing that you want to be doing if you have eye bags. If you're not getting any sleep and then you're expecting like something topical to fix your eye bags, it's a losing battle. Just keep it real. And so if you're not getting sleep, get some sleep first. And secondarily, you can use things that are going to help with just cooling down the eye. And because basically, essentially, you get a lot of blood that pools underneath the eye. So things that are going to help to cool it, caffeine. Use to the People has actually a pretty good serum for underneath the eye that has caffeine. That I've used for years that I think could work really well. But also, I think either Summer Fridays actually has a pretty decent under eye serum that incorporates like vitamin C and caffeine into the formulation. But if you put a cold compress on your underneath your eye, that will help to reduce a lot of the eye bags when you do that first thing in the morning. So try that. There's also a product called Skin, SKYN. And they have really great under eye patches that you can use. And it's very cooling underneath the eye. Stick it in the refrigerator overnight, take it out, put it on first thing in the morning, and that can help to really reduce some of your under eye bags. Hey, BC Betty. Hey, friend. Do I have any pregnancy safe treatments? How about Naturium's azelaic acid? You have to talk to your doctor about azelaic acid and whether you can use it. Azelaic acid traditionally is safe for if you're pregnant, to use if you're pregnant. But again, everybody is very different, and you really have to make sure that your doctor is okay with that. But outside of that, Edam's Milk Marvel, or Edam's as a company, they pride themselves on pregnancy safe products. You can also use like AHAs, AHAs, but not BHAs. AHAs, so glycolic lactic mandelic acid. Those also can help if you have like hyperpigmentation, or you're experiencing acne, and those are pregnancy safe. But definitely check out Edam's line of products, and that can be a really helpful approach to just having a full line of pregnancy safe treatments. Start off with a very gentle cleanser in the morning, or just micellar water, because your hormones are all over the place. So your skin is probably affected. And if you're somebody who is dealing with melasma, the gentle peel, it's like a gentle peel that Edam has that can help with at least just exfoliating your skin and adding some additional tyrosinase inhibitors as you're going through that process, because you may have to wait until after you've had the baby and after you have breastfed, if you choose to breastfeed, to go through a much more intensive treatment to reduce the melasma, because it's internal, it's not external. So melasma is just a little bit more intense. But if your doctor says it's okay to use azelaic acid is a really great way to really help treat any hyperpigmentation and acne issues that you are having. But if you're integrating azelaic acid into your skincare routine in the mornings, you can do it after you tone. And in the evenings, I would just do it on days when you aren't using any retinoids or exfoliants, just because your skin can tend to be more sensitive when you're pregnant as well. So I hope any of that helps. BC, if you want something that's like a more detailed skincare routine, DM me and we'll get into it. Oh, thanks, Raylan. You want to stop by and say I'm glowing? I really appreciate it. I did a facial I gave myself a facial over the weekend, and then yeah, I've been doing like a new skincare routine, so I'll have to share that with you. But I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. You want a body skincare routine? I love a good body skincare routine. So I did actually do a body skincare routine on an earlier TikTok, so definitely check that out. But a good one would be to try this like a couple of nights a week. When you cleanse with a honey and kojic acid body cleanser. Ueda has one that is, I think, really lovely that you can try. If you're not familiar with Ueda, they're on TikTok. They have a website, and they have a lot of great hyperpigmentation, body care, and skincare products. Then after you use maybe a kojic cleanser, then try like a nice like body scrub. So Osea has a lovely body scrub that you can try. And it's very gentle on the skin. I would do that after you cleanse. Then once you get out of the shower, go with like a nice body serum. We to the People has a lactic acid body serum that you can try. And then that will help with continuing to fade the hyperpigmentation, gently exfoliating your skin, especially if you have like keratosis pilaris and you're trying to get rid of some of that chicken skin. And then for your moisturizer, I love Naturium's body moisturizer, the lotion. It is so beautifully formulated. It just feels so lovely on the skin. It doesn't have any fragrance. It's very sensitive skin friendly. And I think when you're using all of those different actives that I just mentioned, and you've done like a really good exfoliation treatment on your body, you just want to like add a lot of those great nutrients back into your skin. So try all of those things out and see if that works for you as a good body skincare routine. Thank you so much for the question. Thank you so much, y'all, for those who are joined the live. If you are new, I'm a licensed esthetician out here in the Los Angeles area, and I am answering your skincare questions. I get through every single question in the chat, but if I don't get to your question, then definitely DM me, and I will get to you at some point. I answer all my DMs, so don't worry, I will get to you. Hi, V Brown. Hi, I'm 59. I use bags under my eyes. Is there anything I can use? I mentioned before, Skin is a SKYN. They have these really great under eye bags. If you put them in the refrigerator, then in 24 hours, take them out, use them underneath the eye first thing in the morning. That can help with eye bags. The very first thing you can do if you're not getting sleep is to get sleep. That is like usually 80% of the problem if you have really bad under eye bags, unless you're somebody who just hereditarily is predisposed to under eye bags. But using cool compresses, caffeine. Youth to the People has a eye serum that has caffeine and vitamin C that you can try. And also, I think I mentioned Summer Fridays may have also a under eye bag treatment that you can try. So try any one of those. Jackie, I have a dark spot on my cheek. It's been there for a year. Then that's pretty deep set. Like that's an old hyperpigmentation mark. And usually if you have really old hyperpigmentation, that's like deep down into the epidermis, it's going to take a while to really start to treat. Now you can treat it with using a full-on skincare routine, and that includes the melanin transfer blockers, antioxidants, tyrosinase inhibitors, exfoliants, and then making sure you're always wearing a tinted SPF. But I would say when it's that deep, you're probably going to find better results from like a chemical peel. Outside of that, like you can try like consistent treatments that include kojic acid cleansers. I'm not sure what your skin type is, but kojic acid cleansers will help to just even out the skin. Even if you have like one dark spot, you kind of need to be treating everything. You know, like it's hard to treat like one dark spot. You really want to make sure you're just keeping your skin as even as possible when you're going through any sort of hyperpigmentation treatment. And then try like a vitamin C serum or a serum that has tyrosinase inhibitors. Faded can work well. Faded works really well, but it's also potent. And I think more people find the better results from newer dark spots than from older, just because it takes a while. And then tretinoin has been known to help with hyperpigmentation. But tretinoin is not always the answer. You can use any retinaldehyde. It's just, or retinoid. Tretinoin is just the most potent out of all of them. And then worst case scenario, hydroquinone. But you have to make sure that you're under the guidance of a doctor. You can go to companies like Apostrophe, Curology. There's like another one, Muesli, and they all have like products that include hydroquinone, which is going to get deeper down into the hyperpigmented dark spot and help with that. So try any of those telehealth companies. And go see a doctor so that way you have a better sense as to what a prescription can do for your skin. And that's going to be the thing that's going to help get the dark spot out of there. But if it's that old, it's just going to be a minute. Jade, I have a sebderm. Any tips? Oh, you have is that seborrheic dermatitis? Is that what you're saying you have? I think that's what you're saying. Just Jade, be a little bit clearer because I'm not sure if that's what you mean. Jackie, how can I get rid of it? Okay. I think, Jackie, you were asking about the dark spot on your cheek. I hope that the answer was sufficient. I think you're talking about, Jade, seborrheic dermatitis on your face, and it's painful at times. Let me know if I'm wrong about that, if you're still here. If you have seborrheic dermatitis on your face, then you need to make sure that you're not using skincare products that can be triggering your seborrheic dermatitis. If that's what you mean. Now, seborrheic dermatitis is an overproduction of skin cells. So a lot of times, but it's also can be like an overproduction of oil in the face and skin cells. And so it causes flaking of the skin. It's the same thing you kind of experience in your hair, or in your scalp, but it usually happens around areas where you would have more hair on the face. Um, so if you are experiencing something like that, you want to reduce the potential triggers of that, but you want to be consistently like cleansing. You can use gentle cleansers that can help with reducing some of that excess skin. And that can be like salicylic acid cleansers with less than 1% salicylic acid. Don't do a 2% salicylic acid cleanser until you know that that is actually seborrheic dermatitis on your face. And hopefully you've gone to a doctor and they have actually told you that that's what it is. Because if it's eczema or if it's some other form of dermatitis, especially if it's painful and irritated, then you're going to have a specific treatment that is going to be very focused more on sensitive skin than on the seborrheic dermatitis. So I would say those would be the main tips that I would give you. There are like salicylic acid toners that you can use that are less than 1%. But again, if it's red and painful and irritated, you need to go to a dermatologist and just double confirm that is what you're experiencing. And it's not like psoriasis or something else. Unless you already have, and that's what the diagnosis they gave you. Absolutely, Camille. How to clear up the legs, the little dark spots from hair follicles. So you have folliculitis on your legs. You can use different cleansers, the kojic acid soap cleansers that can help with brightening the skin. And then body serums. I'm a great fan of body serums. Necessaire has one. Topical slather is one that you can use, and that can help with folliculitis. And then you can also use, I think there's We the People. They have a really great body serum that can help with that. If you're using, and it's like a lactic acid based body serum that's going to help with reducing the hyperpigmentation. If you're using a body serum, then make sure you're also moisturizing your skin. It can be with any moisturizer that works best for your body. I just prefer, like me, I just use La Roche-Posay. I love Necessaire's body moisturizers. CeraVe is a fine body moisturizer too. Like, you don't have to spend a lot of money on body moisturizers. Like, it's honestly, it's unnecessary to spend a ton of money on body moisturizers. So just get something from the drugstore and keep it pushing. Carla D, can you tell what foods and drink affect skin? Everybody is different. So it has a different impact on food and drink that affects the skin. So for example, I can't eat any soy, and I also can't eat almonds. So, but that's not to say that it actually has an effect on your skin. I would say from an acne perspective, excessive amounts of soy also impact your hormones. So that have an effect on the skin. Iodinic salt with iodine salt can have a negative effect on the skin, and that can be one potential trigger of acne. When you're doing things like eating a lot of wheat, eating a lot of eggs, drinking a lot of dairy, those all can have negative effects on your skin, as well as fabric. Oh, I guess you were talking about foods and drinks, sugar drinks, processed foods. Cut that out. Like, if you really want to have like glowing, healthy skin, don't eat a bunch of sugar and don't eat a bunch of foods that are not like whole foods. Fresh veggies, fresh meats, like that's all going to have a benefit on your skin. Treat your skin the same way you would do if you're losing weight. Or if you just want to have a healthy diet, period. Those things are going to be the things that affect your like body just overall. The same things that are going to affect your skin. And then also like wheat and dairy are also triggers for things like eczema too. So just keep all that in mind. It can trigger like different dermatitis issues. So all of that can impact your skin. Thank you so much for the question. I'm gonna like fly through some of these questions real quick because I know some of you all have been waiting a while. And if you're somebody who's new who's joining the live, we're at 3.9 thousand likes. Thank you, y'all. We got to give ourselves an applaud. Give yourselves an applaud in the chat because we are making good moves here. Make sure you keep tapping that screen and get more of these likes in. We're trying to get to 10,000 likes before we end this live, and the live is over at 12:45. So let's get these likes in. Let's get them up. Let's share the live. And for anybody new who's joining, I'm a licensed esthetician in the Los Angeles area, so I'm answering all of your questions about skincare. We're also live over here on YouTube for anybody who is going to head over there and watch any YouTube videos. Miss Parker, I also never had acne until my second pregnancy in 2023. I've been using Tret. About 6 months, no results. Yeah, I went through the same thing when I was pregnant. So when I was pregnant with my son, I had not had really much acne as an adult, and then all of a sudden, girl, those hormones hit. It was a whole different situation, and it just totally changed my skin. So pregnancy, acne during pregnancy is actually very normal. It's not like an abnormal thing. It's just really about being very gentle with your skin because your skin is also very sensitive. And since this is your second pregnancy, you may also have different reactions from the second pregnancy versus the first one. So yeah, just make sure to use more like gentle exfoliants can help with like, at least hopefully reducing and treating the acne like mandelic acid as you're going through that process. Thank you so much, y'all, for the likes. Keep those likes coming in. We're at almost, we're almost getting to 5,000 likes, y'all. This is an amazing, amazing chat. I love this chat. This chat is bomb as hell. All right, Heather, using different since I'm sensitive to tread, is it okay to use it for anti-aging long term? You can use different for the long term. I mean, I think the challenge sometimes with adapalene in general is that it just really depends on your skin's tolerance. Your skin is going to change as you get older. So what you're using now for different may not be what's going to work for you in the next like few years. So just keep that in mind. That if we're talking about long term, like years upon years upon years, your skin's going to change. So you're going to change with it. Your skin's also going to become thicker and more tolerant. So you may end up deciding that you want to step it up to tretinoin if that's what you choose to do, or you may choose to go with like a different type of retinaldehyde that's just a higher concentration. So just keep all those things in mind. So there's nothing wrong with using it in the long term because it does help with hyperpigmentation. It helps with acne. It's a retinoid or a form of retinoic acid. So you just want to make sure that as your body is transitioning, that you keep that in mind. And if you find that you're not getting the results that you have been getting, then transition with it and choose something different. Thank you so much for your question. Natural Eye, what are your recommendations you have for mild textured skin exfoliation? So using Dr. Dennis Gross peel pads are some of my favorites because they have like levels to the shit. So use that at night 1 to 2 times a week, and that will help with your mild texture. Azelaic acid is also really great for texture. Shani Darden has I think a Restore serum that you can try. And I have a client that actually I had her trying it, a virtual consultation client, and she loves it. And this is where she's at, or where she was at like a week ago with her skin from our consultation. So it's even helped to even out her skin. And that's what we've been working on. And that Shani Darden is what she started to use. So that's what happens when you hopefully can get like a virtual consultation. But I would say the Shani Darden Rescue Serum is something that you should absolutely try. Can I suggest a good vitamin C? Undefined is a great vitamin C that has tyrosinase inhibitors. Hyper Even, I love them. Their vitamin C is awesome. They're actually sold out right now, so I hope they actually get more in pretty soon. But it's one of my favorite vitamin C serums that are on the market because it just has so many tyrosinase inhibitors. I think it's just a great all-in-one serum, especially if you're trying to fade hyperpigmentation. But it just does its job overall. And I've also used Youth to the People's. They have this like a try something vitamin C serum, but it has, and if you go through some of my TikToks, then you'll see I've used it in the past and I've shown you all what it looks like. It's beautifully formulated. It has ethyl ascorbic acid, tetrahexadecylascorbate, I think magnesium or sodium ascorbyl phosphate. It's one of these like a 3 trifecta of really great vitamin C derivatives. And it also has a lot of great hydration to it too. I would Youth to the People is a vitamin C serum. It's not for fading hyperpigmentation, but it just feels good on the skin. It gives you glowing. It helps to even up your skin tone. And it just brightens up your skin. So I think that's really great too. Does added sugar cause acne? Yes, Ethan, adding sugar can be a contributing factor to acne. You should not be eating a lot of sugar anyway. It's not good for your skin. It's not good for your body. It's like toxic. No problem, V Brown. Can you recommend me a face cream or serum for dark spots? You have oily skin. This is Self Care XOXO. What's up, boo? So for a face creams are not going to really do much for your hyperpigmentation, but it is going to help to keep your skin barrier healthy. So I would say Round Lab, Doctos. I have a whole list here. Hold on, let me pull up my list. My great list of products and brands that are my go-tos. I do a lot of research on brands and products, y'all, and I want to make sure that I'm always bringing you more information about different products that are out on the market, that can help with hyperpigmentation, but just overall, just help with just keeping your skin super healthy. So give me 1 second. Let me pull this up. All right. So you could try Beauty of Josiane's red bean water gel. Beauty of Josiane's red bean water gel is great if you have oily skin. Shani Darton's hydration peptide cream. Verse Dew Point's moisturizing gel cream is another one that you can try, especially if oily skin. It's actually better for oily skin. Kiehl's Ultra Facial Oil Free Gel Cream is another one that you can try just to keep your skin healthy. And then for serums, I just mentioned Hyper Even, I think is a really great vitamin C serum because it also has salicylic acid, so it can help with keeping that oil in check, while also helping to fade hyperpigmentation. Faded is not for oily skin girlies. So if you have oily skin, faded is not something that you want to include into your skincare routine. It's better if you have dry skin because there's some comedogenic ingredients inside faded. So just keep that in mind. I know you didn't ask, but just in case. And then I would say retinoids. Retinoids are great if you have oily skin. Azelaic acid, I mentioned earlier, Shani Darton's Rescue Serum. It's 10% azelaic acid, and it's really great if you are fading hyperpigmentation, but also helping to control oil. If you want more detailed skincare routine, self-care, you can either get my book, Heal Fade Glow, or you can DM me, and we can talk about it a little bit more. How to know if under eye bags are genetic. Little mama, you would just have to is your mom, grandma, parents side, either side of the family. That's how you would know. You just have to look at your family members and anyone who's in direct relation to you, your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfather, and that will tell you if your under eye bags are genetic. DC, how to treat inflammation around the jawline and neck for acneic skin. So that can be contributed to PCOS and then definitely hormones. So the best way to treat is the same way you would treat acne in general. It's bacterial, it's hormonal. So you also want to be paying attention to your internal health as well. So getting plenty of sleep, making sure that you are keeping your stress low, understanding what foods you're eating and how that could be affecting your gut health. All of those can be contributing factors to your hormonal acne and just your hormones in general, which kind of causes your hormones to spike. So from a topical perspective, you want to be using things that are going to help with the inflammation, killing the bacteria, reducing the oil, as well as getting some of those dead skin cells under control. Though it's hormonal acne, it's still acne. It still has a bacterial element to it. And even when it's cystic acne, that's just living underneath the skin for a really long time. So you still want to be treating it as it comes up to the surface. So mandelic acid and salicylic acid. I'm more of a fan of mandelic acid, especially around the jawline, because it helps with breaking down the oil. It's lipophilic, which means it's oil soluble, in addition to killing some of the bacteria, as well as getting rid of the dead skin cells. So I think mandelic acid is an awesome go-to. Hyper has a brightening cleanser that you can try that has mandelic acid. It also has a bunch of tyrosinase inhibitors, and that can help with reducing some of the oil and treating some of the acne. It's not going to do the mandelic specifically. It's not going to do a bunch for hyperpigmentation just because it's such a low concentration and you need more than 6% for it to actually make a difference. But the cleanser can really help with treating some of the acne. If you are salicylic acid that's less than 2%, don't do a 2% salicylic acid. It's just going to be too harsh for your skin. But Face Reality, I sell it in my store at bblskincare.com, and I use it for all of my acneic clients. I also have an mandelic acid cleanser that you can try that's 3% mandelic acid that can be really helpful with treating like hormonal acne. So any of that from a cleanser perspective. Some people don't like cleansers. I think it really depends on who you are and what makes the most sense for you and where you're at in your acne journey. As far as serums are concerned, um, uh, I would say that you want to make sure that you're just being as gentle as possible with your skin. So if you're using already like a toner, then you don't need to use a serum on top of that, and just keeping it a lightweight cleanser. It depends on like lightweight moisturizer. It depends on your skin type. If you have really dry skin, you're going to need a different moisturizer than you would if you have oily skin. Acne is not necessarily dependent upon how oil. It's not necessarily going to be a situation where if you have acne and you're a dry skin acne person, that you should always wear like things that are not going to be things that are going to be like not moisturizing enough for your skin, if that makes sense. So keep all of those things in mind. So I would say those would be the main things, and then consistently exfoliating 1 to 2 times a week with a lactic acid exfoliant, and that can help with just reducing the dead skin cells around the face. If you want like specific products, let me know and send me a DM, and I'll send you some specific products. Chaotic Sean, what's up, boo? Hey, sugar. Hey, sugar. Back to you, love. A chocolate fudge brownie. I'm using Topicals Faded Cream for my hyperpigmentation, but it's not working. Should I try vitamin C instead? Depends on how long you've been using it. Depends on how often you've been using it. Again, it's not like I'm like Faded is the only thing that works. But if you've been using Faded for like 2 weeks and you're seeing that it's not working, that's not long enough for anything to work for hyperpigmentation. You want to put in time at least a month to 2 months before you start to really say, oh, this isn't working. But it wouldn't work for like really deep, like dark spots. If you're trying to fade like newer hyperpigmentation, that's where you see more of the benefits from that. But like old dark spots, no, baby. It's gonna be a minute. And you also need to be using more than Topicals Faded. So you want to be using like a multitude of things for your hyperpigmentation if you're of skin of color. So that has to include like maybe some sort of other serum in addition to the Faded at night. You don't want to be using them at the same time. So integrating in an azelaic acid, integrating in a retinoid, making sure that you're consistently exfoliating. Faded works as a support through the ingestion of tyrosinase inhibitors, most of them into your as like an added feature. But don't depend on one serum and then like think that it's going to like do something amazing. It's not going to do anything miraculous. Sheila, suggestions for back acne: salicylic acid cleansers, Necessaire, Naturium. Those all can work really well for your back acne. What should I do for acne having pie? Acne having pie. I don't know what that means, Stephanie. How do I shrink? Well, how can I shrink my pores? By exfoliating and using retinoids, that can help to minimize the look of your pores. You need to be consistently cleansing, making sure that you're keeping all the pores clean. So that is through the use of mandelic, salicylic acids, azelaic acids. All of those can help with keeping those pores cleansed and getting all the dead skin cells, any excess oil out of the pore. So that's where you kind of want to start with first. And then you can support your collagen and elastin production and increase that by using retinoids, vitamin C peptides. All of those can help with that. I love a hyper skin because it just does everything. But if you can do like L-ascorbic acid, then L-ascorbic acid is one to try. SkinCeuticals is one of the best L-ascorbic acids that are out on the market. It's expensive, but it's effective. And that can help with just increasing collagen and elastin production. But retinoids are like gold standard, hands down. That's going to help with just like plumping back up the skin, and peptides as well can help with plumping back up the skin. I love Medigate peptides. Maylove is also a decent peptide if you don't want to spend a whole lot of money. Ordinary, their growth factor and their copper peptides can also be really helpful too. And you want to just like when you're minimizing the look of your pores. And mind you, like they're not going to like legitimately shrink. It's just you're minimizing the look of the pores by getting the stuff that's in the pore out of the pore and then building up the skin around the pore. So you want to do a combination of those, and that can help. I hope that was helpful. Hey Simone, I just got here. I'm sorry if you answered this, but what's the tea on oil cleansing? Is it useful? It can be useful. It really just depends on your skin type. So what oil cleansing does is it binds a little bit more heavily to any makeup, any excessive oil that you have on your face as you're going throughout the day. It will break down the makeup a lot more than micellar water or just basic like soap and water or cleanser and water. So it just gets down deeper into that because a lot of makeup needs to be broken up much more heavily. You can use that or a cleansing balm. So whenever you're using a oil cleansing as your first cleanser, then you want to be paying attention to how it makes your skin feels after you use the oil cleanser. If you're using an oil cleanser and your skin feels tight, and it feels like it's dry and it feels like it's squeaky clean, it's too much for you because you still have to you still should be doing the second cleanse because the second cleanse is getting all the excess oil off as well as making sure that it's treating your skin specific to your skin type. And some people say skin type, random influencer said skin type doesn't matter. It does. It matters whenever you're using something that's too much for your skin, and then you end up being like, why is this fucking up my skin? Well, it's not made for your skin type. So just keep all those things in mind whenever you're oil cleansing. Oil cleansing is not great for people who have super dry skin, and it's not great for people like if you're in a double cleanse, it's not great for people who have super dry skin. It's not great for people who have super sensitive skin because it's going to strip your skin because the surfactants on top of the cleansing on top of that, it just may not be beneficial. So it's better if you have dry skin or sensitive skin to do like a cleansing balm over cleansing oil. It does work well for people who have oily skin. You just have to be careful of the oils that's in the cleansing oils. So that way you're not using oils that are comedogenic and then they're going to cause you to have more acne if you're acne prone. Nene, what's up, Nene? What are my thoughts on the new Derma tool? It's a tool. I mean, you have to use it every day. There's estheticians that use it. I don't really think it's not the greatest tool that's out on the market. But you know, if you use it every day, it can help with slightly like lifting up the muscles and maybe help with the skin. But you know, it really depends on how often you use it. Dark circles and bags, retinoids at night, vitamin C during the day, caffeine during the day, using cooling eye patches for that. And that will help with dark circles and under eye bags. Oh, what can I do for acne? Thank you, Stephanie, for clarifying. Acne, post-inflammatory erythema. So azelaic acid can help with erythema, which is the redness. For anybody who doesn't know, it's red post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation versus the darker brown ones. Use azelaic acid. It can be very beneficial. It can be very helpful for post-inflammatory erythema. Shandy Darton has a 10% rescue serum that you can try. It works well for oily and combo skin. Rainbow's asking, does vitamin C get rid of wrinkles? It doesn't get rid of wrinkles, but it does help with increasing collagen and elastin production, but that's over a long, long period of time. Nothing's going to get rid of wrinkles. There's things that can help with reducing the look of wrinkles and fine lines. And the best thing you're going to be able to use, best thing to use would be retinoids, peptides. That's going to be the thing that helps with reducing the look of wrinkles and fine lines. And if you have really dehydrated skin, hydrating your skin with humectants, stuff that has hyaluronic acid in it, keeping your skin moisturized consistently, that is going to help with reducing the look of fine lines and wrinkles. Because sometimes when your skin is dehydrated, your skin just looks more pruny than normal. Thank you so much for these questions. We are 7,700 likes. We're trying to get to 10,000 likes before we end the live. We got like 20 minutes left in the live, y'all. These are great questions. I hope that I'm getting a lot of your questions in. It seemed to have jumped on me. All right, user, I need help with large sunspots on my cheeks, please. Number one, you want to be using tinted sunscreen on every day, all the time. You never step outside. Even in the light that you get from your window, it is impacting your skin in some way. So that's number one. Outside of that, you can take a look at my free guide at the top of my page. It's a hyperpigmentation guide. It does connect back to sunspots as well, because it's all the same. It's all impacted by UV rays. But it's using the method called MATES method: melanin transfer blockers, antioxidants, tyrosinase inhibitors, exfoliants, and SPF. And so when you are using melanin transfer blockers, niacinamide. So things that have niacinamide in it can be helpful, but not niacinamide alone. Niacinamide alone is not going to really do much for you. But if it's incorporated with other tyrosinase inhibitors, it can be beneficial, especially to sunspots. Edo's Milk Marble, I think, is a really nice formulated vitamin C serum that has ethyl ascorbic acid. It also has niacinamide, but it also has papaya and pineapple enzymes that gently exfoliate. So it's more gentle on the skin, especially when you're experiencing some photo damage. Especially when you have sunspots. So that's just an example of like some of the photo damage that you've experienced. In addition to that, consistently exfoliating 1 to 2 times a week. Lactic acid can be very helpful. Glycolic acid can be helpful. I love Dr. Dennis Gross Peel Pads because it has a formulation that incorporates all the HAs. And it also has levels to what you can, based off of your skin sensitivity. So that's something to try. Retinoids can also be helpful. Retinaldehyde can be helpful with dealing with large sunspots and just like fading the hyperpigmentation and like rebuilding some of that collagen and elastin back into your skin. Because when you have sunspots, it means you have sun damage, which means it's also breaking down the collagen and elastin in your skin. So just keep all that in mind. Medicate, Geek and Gorgeous, Naturium. Those are kind of 3 that are easy to find and easy to grab. User, is cocoa kind of vitamin C good for fading dark spots? No, absolutely not. It is not. What are some good preservatives? Different preservatives are going to do different things. I would not say that there's anything that's a good preservative. I would say that there's products that are formulated in a way that has preservatives that are going to help the ensure that the product doesn't go bad. But there's not necessarily good or bad preservatives. There's just like with natural skincare, there's not all things natural are good. So I'm not sure how to answer that question. I'll have to look it up, but I don't have an answer for you specifically because everything's formulated differently, especially when it comes to preservatives. Thank you so much for these questions, y'all. Thanks so much for the likes. We're getting up to 8,400 likes. We're getting there. Keep that tapping coming. Keep it tapping. Do you treat male hyperpigmentation the same? Looking for products for a black male son with acne? Yes, they're treated the same. It depends on if they have a beard, if they're getting facial hair. But yes, it doesn't matter if it's male or female. It's all treated the same. Because I think men have a certain perspective on skincare, there are skincare products that now are catered to men, but the actual stuff that's in it is the exact same thing. So if you download my guide, if you go and get Heal Fade Glow, then that's going to give you a whole bunch of things that you can use to fade hyperpigmentation. But you want to be treating the acne first. And you can treat the acne while fading the hyperpigmentation. But when you start going deeper into hyperpigmentation, then that's going to be a little bit different than how you're treating the acne. And you can overexfoliate if you are trying to do too much with the hyperpigmentation and you're not focused on the acne at all. So yes, you treat it the same. If he has active acne, you want to make sure you're dealing with the inflamed acne, and you're using products that deal with inflamed acne, but also help with hyperpigmentation. So what I mean is mandelic acid is something that deals with the acne, but also helps with the hyperpigmentation. Azelaic acid deals with the acne, but also affects the hyperpigmentation. So these are ingredients that you want to be incorporating. Retinoids help with the acne, but it also helps with the impending hyperpigmentation. So when you look at I call it like maybe a trifecta: mandelic, azelaic, retinoids. And then you want to be supporting his skin barrier because he is a teenager, and you want to keep that skin barrier intact because if you have acne, your skin is more sensitive. So it's just something to keep in mind. So keeping his skin moisturized, and making sure that it's hydrated, because those products and ingredients can also be very drying. Now, if you have an ingredient that has like an azelaic acid with kojic acid and tranexamic acid and things like that, Allies of Skin is a company that creates a lot of these like multi-formulated products that can help. Curology actually has a vitamin C that's good for sensitive skin that has a azelaic acid derivative that can help with if you have like younger skin. So it just depends on where he's at in the process. So I would keep all those things in mind. If you want more of like a specific skincare routine, then DM me, and I can help you there. My son is 12, so I get it, and I hope all that was helpful. Clove 99999. You need help with dark marks on the jawline and chin. Same thing. Mates method. Melanin transfer blockers, antioxidants, tyrosinase inhibitors, exfoliants, SPF. You would make sure to use tyrosinase inhibitors in any serums that you have. Try Hyper Even. It's a great serum that has tyrosinase inhibitors. It also vitamin C, so you're getting those antioxidants in, and that can help with just supporting the what your SPF is already trying to do. Making it a point to at night. Making it a point to always use tinted SPF. That's number one. Live tinted is great for multiple shade ranges. Say Tower 28, all of these have multiple shade ranges because they're makeup companies, and zinc oxide is the main factor that's helping to block visible light. You can also try Eucerin, La Roche-Posay, Elta MD. They all have dermatology, DRMTLGY, and they all have tinted sunscreens that could work well. So make sure you're doing that every single morning. At night, retinoids, exfoliates. Just keep it simple. If you're using a retinoid, like retinaldehyde, that can work really well. If you use tretinoin, that can work well. Making sure that you're exfoliating 1 to 2 nights a week. I love Dr. Dennis Gross peel pads. Try those and see what works for you. Stephanie, Wild West. I've answered this before, Stephanie. What should you do? Acne, post-inflammatory erythema? Use azelaic acid. When you say retinoids, are you talking about tretinoin? Yes, I'm talking about tretinoin is also a retinoid. Tretinoin is the most potent retinoid. It's a retinoic acid. And any other retinoids includes retinol, retinal, retinaldehyde, retinol palmitate. All of those are in the family of retinoids. If you get my book, Heal, Fade, Glow, then it walks you through retinoids, how to incorporate it into your skincare routine, how to do all the things with retinoids, how to layer it, especially if you're using tretinoin. So if you grab that at the top of my page, that will walk you through a lot of that. What does it mean? Oh, Lord. Thank you so much for the questions, y'all. It just like skipped. I hate when it does this. Damn. It just like skipped up. What does it mean when I have acne on one side? It means that you either are doing something on that side. Is that the side that you're using your cell phone on? Are you constantly touching your face? Are you sleeping on that side? It could be a host of different things. But if you have acne on one side, it usually might be because you're like touching your face, you're doing something with your face, something that has bacteria and oil is constantly on one side of your face. And you should be sleeping on your back if you're somebody who's acne prone. Rena had a part hysterectomy. You had a partial hysterectomy a few months ago. Getting breakouts like crazy. Guess due to the hormones. Please help. Yeah, it's going to be due to your hormonal changes. So what you can do is topically, you can help treat your skin by using mandelic acid. Azelaic acid, I think, is really great if you have more hormonal acne because it can help tackle a lot more of the breakdown of the oil, but also it's great for hyperpigmentation. So that way you have less, hopefully, dark spots that arise afterwards. So try azelaic acid. There's a rescue serum that Shani Darton makes. Mandelic acid can work really well, especially if it's around like breakouts around the jaw. What you might want to do because you have, it's because it's hormonal and it's not necessarily external. You definitely might want to go to a dermatologist, go to a doctor, check out with them, get it taken look at, get it looked at, because you may want a little bit more of an intensive treatment to deal with your acne. I usually do like more chemical peels on people who have like heavy hormonal acne. That's like grade 3 or above, because you just need more of an intensive treatment. But staying consistent and just doing as much as you can to work on your hormonal health. If you go to a hormone specialist, they can, and a nutritionist, then they can start to give you things that will help with your specific hormonal challenges. And once you get the hormones under control, you may start to see a difference in your skin. But in the meantime, be consistently treating your acne with mandelic acid, azelaic acid, just because it's going to be more gentle. I have a mandelic acid serum that you can try at bblskincare.com. There's a Glymed Plus Idyllic Mandelic Acid Cleanser that works really well. And then for azelaic acid, try Shani Darton's Rescue Serum. But if you want more details, you can DM me and we can jump into it. Does that gua sha tool really work? Work for what? It works for facial massage. Yeah, it can help with reducing. It's not for lymphatic massage. I don't know why people where that came from. Where gua sha is not lymphatic treatment. Lymphatic is different. But it can help with lifting the skin, lifting the face. It helps with reducing the tension in your face. It helps with just massage in general. So yeah, I mean, it can work for that. I don't know what is it that you were trying to use it for. Snow falling. Are you comfortable talking about surgery scars? I'm not a doctor. So I'm not as comfortable talking about surgery scars depending on what it is that you're asking. So I would say that if you want to know more about surgery scars in general, depending on the part of the body, definitely talk to a dermatologist and they'll give you a little bit more insight into different things that you can do. Now, like basic stuff, as far as how to reduce the look of a surgery scar, then you can do like silicone pads that you can get from the local drugstore. That is probably the best method. Most doctors will actually tell you that anyway. So try that if you have like a surgery scar. I would use like the silicone pads. That's like the easiest, low cost, low weight method to help with like surgery scars. 38-year-old Black woman raised pimples, leaving dark spots behind. How do I stop this? Thanks, Tia. All right, Shay. All right. So if you have any raised pimples that are leaving dark spots behind, then you want to make sure that you're treating your acne. So that way you have less raised pimples. If it's leaving like acne scarring, then that's a little bit different. But it seems like it's just leaving dark spots. But yes, you want to treat your acne. And it seems like you might have cystic acne. So you definitely want to treat it with things like sulfur spot treatments can help with cystic acne. Benzoyl peroxide at night, not during the day, because benzoyl peroxide makes our skin a little bit more photosensitive. So you can actually worsen your hyperpigmentation. But I would use like a benzoyl peroxide cleanser in the evening, and that can help with reducing the bacteria and inflammation. Mandelic and salicylic acid both can help with reducing inflammation as well as clearing out some of the oil and also just reducing the bacteria. Azelaic acid works really well with that too. So that's how you can start to treat your dark spots. You may also want to look into a retinoid, and that's across the board. That can be retinol, retinaldehyde, that can be tretinoin. Because if you have cystic acne, that can help over time with not only reducing the acne, clearing out the oil clogged pores, and then also reducing the hyperpigmentation over time. So you want a more of a comprehensive skincare routine for that, and that will over time help with that. I had a client that I'm working with now, and she has some of the same issues. Jesus. Where it's leaving, she had like a lot of raised acne, and we've been working on her acne, and that was after a chemical peel. So we've done a couple of chemical peel treatments, and because she had really bad inflamed acne on her cheek, and this was after like the second treatment. This was after just like one chemical peel and a facial treatment. So a chemical peel could also be very beneficial to you. If you are somebody who is wanting to kind of figure out how to really treat a lot of those raised pimples and raised acne lesions and dark spots. Try any of that. Are there products in your bio? The main ones are the products in your bio the main ones you use for hyperpigmentation. I have different, if you go to the top of my page and you go to my Amazon store, I have a specific storefront, like a specific, I guess, I forget what they're called, like little mini storefront that has like hyperpigmentation products that you can use. I also, if you go to bblskincare.com, what I sell from my store, I have specific skincare products. If you go and you filter hyperpigmentation, that are focused on hyperpigmentation. There is a serum that is called Brilliant Tone, and that has a bunch of different tyrosinase inhibitors that I actually always make sure that my hyperpigmentation clients and chemical peel clients are using during their post-chemical peel treatments. My virtual clients are using that as well. There's another one, Diamond Bright Illuminator, that also has a lot of tyrosinase inhibitors, and these are both from a company called Glymed. Skin Script has some glycolic and retinol pads that work really well if you have hyperpigmentation. They're retinaldehyde. It's a renewing serum, also is great if you have hyperpigmentation. So if you are interested, make sure to DM me and I'll send you some more options to try. But if you all are looking for more like products that I sell to my clients, and these are professional care products, then you can go to bblskincare.com and you can take a look at what's in the store. And if you DM me, I can give you specific products that you might want to try, depending on what it is that you're trying to do, whether it's healing your acne or fading your hyperpigmentation. But results like this are what, like, she's only using the products that I'm giving her. Like that's what she's using for her skin. So, you know, I did a lot of research into the skincare products on my store. My goal is to get to a place where I can have more wholesale items from more Black skincare companies personally. So I want to really invest in Black-owned companies, and I want to house their products in my store. So part of the reason why I do these lives and I sell my books and I do all these things is because I'm bootstrapping myself. I'm an entrepreneur, and I really want to support other Black entrepreneurs, especially skincare, when we have things like happening with Target and other nonsense in the world. I think that there needs to be more owners of spaces like digital spaces, e-commerce, that are wanting to get the word out. My background and my history is in digital marketing. So I actually used to be an executive on the digital side for many years. But I love skincare and I love helping people. So I wanted to transition, but in the process of that, I wanted to also recognize that there's something out there missing in the marketplace. It's very frustrating finding skincare products for skin of color. It's just very frustrating having to look and put in that time and just go to a store and find something that works for us. It's crazy. So I want to make sure that I have a store for that. So love your support. Anytime you all download my books, anytime you all invest in the products in my store, anytime you all get a virtual consultation, it's just contributing to a future that hopefully I can have expand this store to include Black-owned skincare products. So when I'm coming on these lives in the future, I'm giving you products that are owned, that are really helpful to your skin, and that are Black-owned. Oh, thank you, Amaya. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. If you're battling PCOS and you're left with razor scars, the main thing you want to do is you have to go and get that any sort of acne scarring, which is indentions into the skin, or raises of the skin. You have to go get that actually treated by a dermatologist or a licensed professional like an esthetician. Chemical peels, microneedling, laser resurfacing. There's multiple treatments, but they're going to be more professional treatments. There's just not, you can exfoliate consistently, but you're just not going to see much over time. Thank you so much, Grateful Hearts. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, y'all, for the likes. Y'all, we got to the goal and we're 1 minute away from ending this live. I'm going to go through all of these questions that you all have here, and make sure I can answer as much as well. Hi, what about texture and dry skin? Anytime you have texture and dry skin, you want to be exfoliating consistently 1 to 2 times a week, but you don't want to be over exfoliating. And you definitely want to be hydrating your skin with moisturizing, as well as humectants. So have a good serum that's going to help with your skin barrier and also a good moisturizer. Let's see. Let me get to the next question. Does different work on black skin? Yes, it does. It's a retinoid. It works on black skin. Just don't over exfoliate or overuse it, because then you can cause irritation, then causes more hyperpigmentation. Is skin pen worth it over several treatments? It can be. You just have to go to the right person that understands how to utilize the skin pen over your within the treatment, so that way it can actually be effective. Is it safe to use azelaic acid 2 times a day and like morning and night? It depends on your skin's tolerance. I would not recommend it. I don't think it's necessary to use azelaic acid 2 times a day. Just because it says on the bottle that it can be used 2 times a day doesn't mean that you should be using it 2 times a day. That's just the maximum that they're saying it could potentially be used for somebody who can tolerate that particular ingredient. But that doesn't mean it's great for you. So if your skin can tolerate it, go for it. But if you have not used the azelaic acid in the past, do not use it 2 times a day. Start with 1 to 2 times a week. Slowly build up your tolerance to azelaic acid. It's going to take a minute though. It's not going to be, you're not going to be able to jump into 2 times a day for several months. But you just don't need to. I wouldn't worry about it. Don't overuse things thinking it's going to help you any more than what it's going to do for you. The only thing that you can use that's like going to potentially help to down the line are things like hydrating products, humectants, stuff like that. Peptides. Using peptides twice a day can really help. But peptides are also not going to burn off your face. But anything that's going to be an exfoliant, do not use too often. I have stubborn agitation, tried everything. Any recommendations? A full-on skincare routine is definitely what you should try. Try my MACE method. If you go to the top of my page, download my guide. It's free. Then that will give you a full-on skincare routine and a bunch of different products that you can try, as well as a bunch of different routines for you to try, or a full method for you to try. You suffer from hair on your face and shave or have my face threaded. Okay, so you might have PCOS. I'm assuming, or just uh, okay. So if you are dealing with sort of like hair on your face and folliculitis from the hair on your face, it would be the same thing. And that skincare guide can help walk you through a lot of that. And I would go into more detail just because we have like a bunch of questions. I want to make sure I get to everybody. So if you want more detail, DM me and I'll send you something extra. How do I treat back acne? It's mostly acne scarring. Is it acne scarring or is it acne dark spots? They're two totally different things. So if you treat back acne and you have the inflamed acne, you can use salicylic acid cleansers for that. Naturium, Necessaire, all of those brands, We to the People, they all have acne. Differin, Panaxil, you can find in a drugstore. CeraVe, any salicylic acid can help with just reducing a lot of that inflamed acne on your back. And if you have acne dark spots, then using things like topical slather, We to the People's lactic acid, they have like this body serum. So different body serums can help with reducing the hyperpigmentation. If you have acne scarring, which is indentions into the skin, then that's different. And you would need to go to a dermatologist or a licensed professional to get a professional treatment to get that taken care of and looked at. What's a great SPF for face when using gel creams for acne, oily skin? Eucerin actually has a specifically formulated SPF 50 that is for acne and acneic and oily skin. So check that out. I actually have it. I think I saved it in my Amazon storefront. But Reese, if you DM me, I'll send it to you directly. All sunscreens give you pimples. Car, you're scared of retinoids? Why are you scared of retinoids? You just have to, like, if you're gonna use retinoids, you don't have to go for the like most crazy retinoid. Don't go for something that's going to be have like a high concentration. You can start with like a low concentrated retinol, or you can start with like bakuchi oil. Bakuchi oil has a lot of really great benefits. It's similar to retinoids. It's not going to do the same thing as retinoids, but it's if you have really sensitive skin, it's a great kind of starter pack. And then just a low concentrated retinol is a great way to start as well. Trying to think of, I don't really use retinol. I'm trying to think of a retinol that could work well. I actually always recommend people use Avene, Avene, and that is formulated for sensitive skin. And they have a 0.05 formulation and a 0.1 formulation, and that can help with fading your hyperpigmentation. But just a great starter retinoid that's not going to be like overly excessive for you if you have sensitive skin. Thoughts on salicylic acid for decongestion? It helps for decongestion. You just have to make sure that it's going to be drying too. So just keep that in mind. If you have dry skin, it's better for oily skin. All right, Grateful Hearts. Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Is different good for black skin? Yes, it is. You answered my you answered my question before I got to you. All right, God's girl. I appreciate that. Thank you, Grateful Hearts. I appreciate you. Oh my God, you all are so amazing. I want to make sure I don't skip some of these questions because it looked like Jen Dog. Oh, well, Con. Sorry. Bye, Jen Dog. I didn't ignore your comments. I actually answered your question a couple of times, but holla back. Monet, dark spots. I've tried everything. You can go to the top of my page and you can download my guide. It's a hyperpigmentation guide. But have you tried everything? Because if you're trying one thing and you just keep trying individual serums, that's your problem right there. If you are trying like a full-on skincare routine that's specifically focused on hyperpigmentation, then that's where you can start to actually fade hyperpigmentation. I call it my MATES method: melanin transfer blockers, antioxidants, tyrosinase inhibitors, exfoliants, and SPF. And these are the categories where they have ingredients that are actually helping you to fade your hyperpigmentation. And that's what you want to be looking for in your products. And you want to do it in the morning as well as at night. Now, when you have all of that comprehensively together, that's when you start to see your dark spots fade. You also want to give it more than like 30 days. If you think you're going to fade like dark spots that have been there for a while in 30 days, it's not going to happen. Newer dark spots, yes, because your skin's going to go through a skin cell turnover cycle. But older dark spots, baby, it's going to take a minute. It's going to take a little while. It can take 6 months. It can take 7 months, 9 months. It just depends on how deep inset the hyperpigmentation is, and how much needs to actually start to push up to the surface, and how much needs to be kind of removed with exfoliants. So if you're using in the morning, whatever cleanser you're going to use, it can be a kojic acid and honey cleanser, which works well for like fading and evening out skin tone. I'm not a huge fan of turmeric cleansers, but if it's a cleanser and not a bar soap, it's even better because you can kind of better sense the formulation for it. Then if you use you don't have to use a toner, but if you use like a serum, a vitamin C serum, that can help with fading hyperpigmentation. Hyper Even is one that I always recommend to people because it has tyrosinase inhibitors, a good moisturizer, and absolutely tinted SPF. If you are not using tinted SPF, then it's great to use SPF, but tinted SPF actually blocks visible light, and visible light is part of the reason why your dark spots are increasing in depth. So just keep that in mind. It's not just UV rays, it's the visible light, it's the blue light, it's what you get from your screens. So I wear sunscreen all day, every day. I don't care if I'm leaving my house or not. I'm getting light coming from someplace. So I want to make sure I'm tackling that. And I always tell my clients, you got to make sure you're tackling that. And it does actually really help. Zinc oxide has also been shown to help with reducing melasma as well. So keep that in mind. And then on top of that, at night, retinoids or some form of something that's going to help with unclogging pores, reducing hyperpigmentation. Azelaic acid is a good option if you just don't want to use retinoids. And then making sure to exfoliate 1 to 2 times a week, and then consistently making sure to stay moisturized, because skin of color loses more ceramides. It has less ceramides. It loses more water. It's more prone to dryness, irritation. So you want to be protecting your skin barrier by moisturizing. So doing all of that consistently on a regular basis for like at least 3 months is when you'll start to see a difference. And you'll start to see your dark spots really fade. You might see it in the first 30 days, the newer dark spots, and then older dark spots you'll start to see really fade in like the first 3 months. Rena, Paula's Choice exfoliating toner good for black skin. It's fine. It's not about black skin or other skin. It's really about your skin. So if you can handle 2% salicylic acid and the formulation of the BHA, then it can work for you. But if your skin is just not, it doesn't work, if your skin is dry, I wouldn't use it if you have dry skin. Thank you so much for the follows, y'all. Amora Cass, I'm on Tread and started azelaic acid. Do I use together on or separately on Tret 3 nights a week? You can use Tret and azelaic acid on the same night. Your skin has to be able to tolerate it first. So what I would recommend you do is make sure that your Tret is in a place where you have consistency. So if you're using it 3 times a week, on the days you're not using Tret, then you use azelaic on those days. You're going to basically skin cycle it. So if you're using Tret Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, use azelaic acid Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And then make sure you're exfoliating on Sunday. So let's just just to keep it simple. As you start to become more accustomed to the azelaic acid, on that Wednesday, try layering the azelaic acid and the Tret together. But you want to be using the azelaic acid for at least like 2-3 weeks before you do that. Like you want to give it actually just do it for like a month. So that way your new skin cells will come up to the surface and your skin is pretty used to the azelaic acid at that point. Then try it one time on like that Wednesday. If the next day or even during that night you don't experience any irritation, great. Do it again for like another like week or so. Then start slowly adding in azelaic acid more days a week on the same nights as your Tret. So that way, then you have a situation where you can then use Tret and azelaic acid on the same night, but you have not irritated your skin because you're kind of like slowly introducing it and allowing your skin to slowly become accustomed to this new double feature that you've been handed to it. Okay. So just like do it that way and see if that works for you. If at any point in time you experience irritation, your skin cannot tolerate that many actives. Eliana, certain serums do not use during pregnancy. Can't use retinoids during pregnancy. Don't use salicylic acid during pregnancy. Those are some of the main ones to not use. Make sure you talk to a doctor first before using azelaic acid during pregnancy. You should really talk to a doctor about anything that's not like glycolic lactic AHAs. It's fine to use peptides, things like that. Bakuchi oil is probably a better option if you're pregnant. Let's see. Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you so much for these amazing questions. I'm going to try to fly through these next few. And then we're gonna hop off. So oh my God, we've got to 11,000 likes during this live. Y'all deserve an applause. Y'all need to give yourselves an applause in the chat. Make sure you give yourself an applause in the chat. So I really appreciate each and every one of you. This has been a really great live. Let's see. And thank you all so much for the follows. Is Ordinary a good brand? A Sephora worker tried to tell me they were all BS. I think it depends on the serum. Not all serums are great. I'm not a really big fan of using the glycolic acid toner on your face. I think it's simple and I think it's easy and I think it's inexpensive. So if you want simple, easy, and inexpensive, then go for it. Don't let people sell you on something that's more expensive because honestly, they're just selling you on things that are more expensive. Ordinary has very simple, decent formulations. I think that I use their copper peptides. I actually really like their copper peptides. I think their squalane cleanser is a really good cleanser. It works well. But I do think that a lot of times people get into this like layering of individual serums. Like, you don't need to layer individual serums. I think that's where it gets a little excessive with the Ordinary. There's just other formulations that are out there that are much better at tackling things like dark spots rather than having to try to layer 5-6 different serums together to get to your end result. That's where I have an issue with the Ordinary, but that's their brand. Their brand is simplistic, easy approaches that's affordable for skincare. So if you are looking for something that's specifically going to do things like fade your dark spots or heal your acne, Ordinary is not the first place that I would go to. But if you just want a peptide, you just want a cleanser, get it from the Ordinary. It's going to do just fine. It's better than spending a bunch of money on things that you don't need to spend a bunch of money on. I have congested skin. I'm wearing foundation. Any suggestions on decongestion? Whatever foundation you're wearing, you need to stop wearing it and go with a foundation that is going to make more sense for your skin type. If you have oily skin, then you shouldn't be using an oil-based foundation. You can use like something that's going to be more water based and water soluble. So I would look at that first. If you every time you're wearing foundation and your skin is getting congested, then it's the type of foundation you're wearing, and you want to make sure to reduce, maybe use something that's going to be water soluble. And there are foundations that are water soluble, a lot of them that are out on the market. And then for the decongestion, azelaic acid, salicylic acid, mandelic acid, all of those help with like decongesting the skin, and also exfoliating. Lactic acid, glycolic acid. Dr. Dennis Gross peel pads are great for exfoliating. Um, uh, Shani Darden's Rescue Serum is great. Is great azelaic acid. Um, Face Reality, I sell it in my store. Their Sal C toner is a great salicylic acid that's only like less than 1%. Either one of those can work well. Glymed's Idyllic mandelic acid cleanser has only 3% mandelic acid. That can also work well. So try any one of those. Sincerely, what do I think of hydrofacials? I love them. I think they're amazing. What do I think of hydrofacial beneficially? I think that hydrofacials, the point of them is to help to add serums to the face and then suck out some of the congestion and some of the oil in your face and anything that's clogging your pores. So from a beneficial standpoint, if you're going and getting a hydrofacial once a month, it can really benefit your skin. It's a great facial option. It's a great technique. It's and a machine that can be tried, and it just really depends on what it's being used for. It's great for exfoliating. It's great for infusing certain vitamins into the skin. So try it and see what happens. Do I have any recommendations for tinted SPF? Live tinted, Eucerin, La Roche-Posay, Elta MD, they all have decent tinted SPFs. Undefined has a great tinted SPF. It just doesn't come in much of a shade range. I love it. It's what I use every morning. It's what I have on my face now. It's only like a light, a medium, and a darker tint for that one. There's this one that I found recently. It's called Australian Gold. Australian Gold is one to try if you have oily skin. And that has like a light, a medium, a dark, and a darker tone. So that might be one you can add to it. If you go to my Amazon storefront, then I have it in my Amazon storefront. Did somebody just ask? I just missed a question. God, I hate when it jumps. Do I really have to stop using Tret while pregnant, Ileana? Yes, baby. You have to stop using Tret while you're pregnant. Please don't use Tret while you're pregnant. If I stop adapalene for a week, can I purge again when I start again? Usually no. That's not usually the normal reaction from adapalene if you stop for a week. Purging is because you have initial congestion in your skin. And so your skin is not only reacting to the adapalene, but it's also pushing all that congestion up to the surface, because you have like acne that's been like building and growing, because acne just doesn't pop up. It's usually been sitting there for a while, ready to pop up. So just keep all that in mind. If you have things like flaking and dryness and some of that, for those forms of purging, that's just a form of like skin irritation. So just keep that in mind. So Miguel, if you've already been using adapalene and your skin is already like adapted to it, then yes, not using it for a week is not going to hurt you. And how long does it take for adapalene to get rid of hyperpigmentation? 3 months. It takes adapalene, just retinoic acid, 3 months to help get rid of hyperpigmentation. Can you please recommend a moisturizer for barrier repair that does not have oils or niacinamide? Dr. Althea 147 cream is great for barrier repair. Oh my God, I've been using. Oh yeah, Ileana, yeah, salicylic acid is not recommended for pregnant people. Definitely go see your doctor and ask if he feels like that's going, or she, I shouldn't say he, if they feel like that's going to affect you in any way. But I do not give salicylic acid products to any of my pregnancy patients. I mean, not patients, clients. Should you always use toner after cleanser, or can you use actives directly after cleansing? You don't have to use toner. It just depends on your skin. You don't have to use toner. So yeah, you can just jump into actives. Hi, how do I get rid of body acne and dark spots? I have oil. I have acne all over my back and shoulders and dark spots. For acne, salicylic acid body washes, Naturium, Necessaire. Um, I think those are the main two. Differin, Pinaxil, CeraVe. You can just go to the drugstore and get a salicylic acid body wash, and that will help with the body acne. And for the dark spots, using a body serum that is formulated for hyperpigmentation. So We to the People has a really great body serum that has lactic acid that can help with fading dark spots. Necessaire has the body peel, and that's a serum that can help with fading dark spots. You can also use, if it's not about, let's say you have like, you've taken care of the body acne and now you're trying to deal with the hyperpigmentation, you can use a kojic acid cleanser body wash. Rosen Skincare has, I think maybe not Rosen Skincare, UADA. They have a honey and kojic acid body wash that you can try. And that will help with just fading like hyperpigmentation and just brightening up skin over time. And then I would say Slather by Topicals. That for some people can help with their hyperpigmentation because it has retinol in the formulation. So try any one of those for any of your body hyperpigmentation. Now, there's some people who will recommend things like hydroquinone and tretinoin on your body. I'm not a big proponent of that, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it. But you can't get tretinoin and hydroquinone over the counter in the United States. So if you're going to look for other body acne options that are more prescribed, um, or body like hyperpigmentation, you can go to Apostrophe, Curology, Muesli. Those are three of probably the main ones. And they are dermatologist focused, and they're telehealth, and they have more like prescription strength hyperpigmentation products. Any help with dark, Des in Vegas? Any help with eye bags and dark circles? Retinoids at night, vitamin C during the day. Get plenty of sleep. Drink way more water. Stop drinking so much. All of those like lifestyle things that helps with eye bags and dark circles. But yeah, using retinoids at night. Avene, Muesli, not Avene, Medigate. They both have retinol serums for underneath the eye. Dermatology has a really great one, DRMTLGY. They have a really good one for underneath the eye. And then vitamin C serums during the day. Youth to the People has one. Summer Fridays has another one that works really well. Yeah, I would say those would be the two that I would go with. And then doing like eye patches, sticking them in the refrigerator, freezer, or sorry, refrigerator, not the freezer. Sticking in the refrigerator, putting them on first thing in the morning, letting it sit. SKYN is a good one to try. And then for dark circles, Topicals has eye patches that you can try, and they're specifically formulated for hyperpigmentation. Bare Minerals Foundation. Oh yeah, they're a good foundation if you have acne. Dark spots on the legs and body from ingrowns. Exfoliating with chemical exfoliants. We to the People has a good serum, topical slather. You can also try Necessaire's body peel. Try any one of those. Thank you so much for the gifts, everybody. This is an amazing live. I was about to get off, but y'all got these good questions coming. This has been a really awesome live. What do I use along with Dr. Dennis Gross exfoliating pads? Just make sure you're moisturizing. So you can, just make sure you're moisturizing. I wouldn't even overthink it. And I wouldn't try to use anything else. Get used to the Dr. Dennis Gross exfoliating pads first, unless you're asking for something that can help with hydrating your skin. But just make sure you're moisturizing afterwards with whatever moisturizer you use at night. If you have a moisturizer that has an influx of ceramides, Naturium has one that's really great. La Roche-Posay. I wouldn't spend a ton of money on a moisturizer, to be honest. Recommendation for dark spots and hyperpigmentation due to acne. So I do have, due to adult hormonal acne. It's not any different than any other acne, unless it's fungal acne. So if you have acne and you want dark spots and hyperpigmentation treatments, you can download my guide. It's a free guide. It's a hyperpigmentation guide from the top of my page. The main thing to do is to use what I call my MATES method: melanin transfer blockers, antioxidants, tyrosinase inhibitors, exfoliants, and make sure that you're always wearing SPF during the day. And those are the categories of ingredients that help to fade hyperpigmentation. Now, when you're using this in a comprehensive skincare routine, that is what I recommend for fading dark spots and hyperpigmentation. So that means in the morning, you make sure to have antioxidants. That can be a vitamin C, tyrosinase inhibitors, a vitamin C with tyrosinase inhibitors. That could be something like Hyperskin. And making sure to moisturize. You can also have moisturizers that have glutathione, which is it's an antioxidant. It helps with fading hyperpigmentation. A lion's pose is a moisturizer that has glutathione incorporated into it. You can also make sure to use a tinted SPF, live tinted, Eucerin, La Roche-Posay, Ulta MD, Tower 28, Say. They all have tinted moisturizers or sunscreens that you can try. And that will make sure that it's protecting your skin from visible light as well as UV rays. At night, retinoids, melanin transfer blockers, exfoliating 1 to 2 times a week. Dr. Dennis Gross peel pads. For retinoids, I'm a big fan of retinaldehyde. Naturium is what you can find in Target. I know people hate Target right now, but it's just what's available. Medicate is a great retinaldehyde. Geek and Gorgeous is another one you can try. Avene, if you're somebody who is new to retinaldehydes. If you go to the top of my page, go to my Amazon storefront, you can find a bunch of different options to try. And then making sure that you also can incorporate things like azelaic acid. Niacinamide is not going to really do much. It's a support. It's great when it's formulated with something else. But it's not like going to be the game changer that's going to change your skin. Things like tranexamic acid with niacinamide works. Azelaic acid with niacinamide works well. Like when you see it formulated together, then that's when it makes a difference. But if it's not formulated together and you're just going out and get a niacinamide serum, then you just wasted your money. So try any one of those. Elastin SPF, Jackie. Yeah, they have a decent tint. Yeah, they have a good tint too. That's a good one to try. I'll have to add that to the list, Jackie. Thank you so much. What would you suggest for a hydrating cleanser for oily skin? Beauty of Josiane's red bean water gel is what I would suggest. Kiehl's ultra facial oil free gel cream is also a good one. Versed Dew Point moisturizing gel cream. If you just don't want to spend a lot of money, that works well too. La Roche-Posay has a mattifying moisturizer that works well. Oh, you just asked about cleansers. God damn, I gave you a bunch of moisturizers. All right, for cleansers, gentle foaming cleanser is the best thing to try. La Roche-Posay has an easy gentle foaming cleanser that works well if you have oily skin. I would just go there and keep it simple. If you're looking for something for like acne, that's a little bit different. But if you're just looking for like an oil cleanser, gentle foaming cleanser like that. Oh, Hyperskin actually has a brightening cleanser that works well if you have oily skin because it has mandelic acid, a small percentage. It also has willow bark, which will help with controlling oil. Try Hypers or La Roche-Posay, either one. Moisturizers. That's why I ended up thinking about moisturizers because it was the next question. I'm using retinol on my skin and it gets really dry. I really love a lot of like Korean skincare moisturizers just because it's usually formulated without a lot of fragrances. Round Lab, Dakodo's line, they have a great line of moisturizers that work well for just hydrating the skin. Purito is another one to try, Purito. And they have a really great skin barrier moisturizer. That is their Panthenol line. And then Skin 1004, they have a decent line of moisturizers that can help with just hydrating the skin, but also they have ceramides that help with adding hydration to your skin. La Roche-Posay has their triple moisture, whatever moisturizer. That also is a good one to use as a moisturizer for your skin. If you want something even thicker, Dr. Althea's 147 cream is a skin barrier cream. You can try those. Those all could be potentials. Oh, and Dew, Dieux. Dew has an angel barrier cream. And theirs is like awesome. Like you want to talk about thick, get all that hydration in. I always forget about dew. Try dew. P, can you recommend removal of for the removal of sunspots? Chemical peels remove sunspots, but if you want to fade sunspots, then go to the top of my page, download my free guide, hyperpigmentation guide. It walks you through all sorts of different hyperpigmentation treatments. But you want to be using things like vitamin C with tyrosinase inhibitors, so hyper even, it can work really well. And you also want to be using tinted sunscreen. So live tinted, Eucerin, Rose Posay, any of those can work well. What's up, Jackie? Have any training classes you recommend to help specialists in acne? There's actually I did the MBK acne specialist training. Jackie, if you're still here, the MBK acne specialist training is one of the best on the market. You get regular updates consistently once you join it, and once you are a part of it, it's a lifetime. And everything that she gets that's new, you're getting. I'm also certified through Face Reality, which is okay. I just felt like Face Reality was a lot of money to always have to be paying for new training. So if you want to like become an acne specialist on multiple levels, you have to like pay for a new class every single time. Whereas MBK covers a larger majority of just thinking about acne holistically and not thinking about it from a specific skincare line. Because honestly, you know, as much as I like Face Reality and I like a certain set of their products, I think for some people it can be a little harsh. So you want some variance. So I would say MBK would be the one I would try first. Um, M is in Mary. MBK. No problem, Jackie. What do I recommend for large pores? Azelaic acid, and also mandelic acid. So utilizing mandelic acid to help clear out the pores and salicylic acid. Those would be the three that I would recommend. I just talked about Face Reality, but there are some really great products there. Their salicylic acid, I think, is really great. I use it every day. And it's not very drying. It only has 0.5% salicylic acid. So it's great if you have sensitive skin. So try that to just help with clearing out the pores. Mandelic acid as a exfoliant can help with exfoliating, but also lactic also helps with that too. And then retinoids can help with reducing the look of your pores as well, because it increases the collagen and elastin around the pore and just in your skin in general, and it helps it to look tighter. So try any one of those. I use at night DDG peel pads and DDG, Dr. Dennis Gross vitamin C oil at night. Okay, Bobby, good. Yeah, I'm glad that you use that. I really love the peel pads. Like, I'm obsessed with the peel pads. I'm not a huge fan of the vitamin C oil. I'm just not a huge fan of like active oils. I just don't think it does much. If you have, I mean, for some people it could be great, but I just want something that's going to be just even more effective and give you bigger results. And like oils, I don't think is going to give you as much of a result as applying it directly to the skin, because the oil has to then get through all the other skincare versus applying a water soluble version of that to actual like skin before you then apply the rest of your skincare. I just think it's more effective. How do you determine the right amount, determine the amount of SPF? I have 30. Is that enough? 30 is enough. 30 to 50. You don't really need to go more than 50. After 50, it starts to get very low percentages. Like it's enough of a significant difference. So 30 is the recommended starting place. I always tell people also SPF 50. 30 is the recommended starting place. But if you can do 50 consistently, I think that gives you even more of a benefit. Oh, Jay Bobby. Oh, Bare Minerals is the foundation that breaks you out. Okay, yeah. You switch to try let me think of something that is water soluble. Bobby, if you JA Bobby Doll, if you DM me, I'll give you some options for some water soluble foundations. Because I can understand that Bare Minerals used to break me out too. What would you suggest for fungal acne? You want to be cleansing your face maybe 2 to 3 times a week with like a an antifungal. Um, why am I blanking on this, y'all? It's been a long day. An antifungal um, um, shampoo, something for dandruff, an anti-dandruff shampoo. My God, that was rough. An anti-dandruff shampoo can help with your fungal acne because it has antifungal qualities. So I think it's Nizol or Nizoral, but you can just get Head and Shoulders. Get some Head and Shoulders. Cleanse your skin 2 to 3 times a week. Leave it on your skin for like 1 minute. You don't need to cleanse every day. There are some influencers that do that shit. Don't do that because it's going to take like a couple weeks. And then you can use azelaic acid. Azelaic acid has antifungal qualities, and it can help with also the antifungal qualities, along with the unclogging the pore, along with um, some of the other benefits from that. That will all help together with healing your fungal acne. What do you recommend to use after Dr. Dennis pads? Moisturizer. Just use a moisturizer, and you'll be good to go. Any moisturizer is like that's helps with your skin barrier would be fine too. So like La Roche Posay has a good moisturizer. Round Lab, Docto's line has a good moisturizer. Beauty of Josiane has a great moisturizer. If you're wanting a specific type of moisturizer, then DM me and I'll give you some additional options. All right, y'all. I'm about to. Let me go backwards because this thing like jumps around. It's weird. Thank you so much for an amazing live, everybody. This has been an awesome live. I've really appreciated all of your questions. Do I like the Ordinary skincare products? I like a couple of them. I think their niacinamide is awful. Their niacinamide and zinc is terrible. I love their peptide serum. Their copper peptide serum is what I use. Their growth factor serum is one that I think works really well. Their squalane cleanser I think is really nice. Um, I'm not a fan of their lactic acid exfoliant. I don't even know if they sell it anymore. At one point, they were selling the lactic acid one. I think it was trash. Um, so yeah, I mean, they have some hits and they have some misses. I don't use the glycolic acid toner on my face, but I do use it underneath my arms. I use it on my body. I would never let it touch my face. So yeah, I use it on my feet. So yeah, they have some decent things. But I think it's a inexpensive way to add some stuff to your routine. But they're the ones that I just mentioned were trash. I think are trash. Any fungal safe SPF? I got tretinoin prescribed and haven't started it, but I'm wondering if I should test out a sunscreen before. Okay, so as far as sunscreens are concerned, most sunscreens are fungal safe. From what I understand and from what I have researched and read. Now, if I'm wrong, I could totally be wrong, but I haven't found any to have there to be an issue with using sunscreen. If you have like fungal, thank you so much, Constance. I really appreciate the rose. If you have fungal acne, if that's what you're asking about. Oh, Fugal safe. Oh, Fugal safe SPF. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry for my ignorance. I don't know what you mean by Fugal safe. If you are asking about tretinoin, you need to just be using sunscreen every day. Help me understand the. I don't understand the question. I know. Okay, and then the next question is: I got tretinoin prescribed. I haven't started. I'm wondering if I should test out sunscreen before I. If you are using, regardless of anything, you should be wearing sunscreen. You don't need to like test out sunscreen and tretinoin. If you're using tretinoin, you're using tretinoin at night, and your sunscreen. Hey, thank you so much, Jackie. I really appreciate the gift. Thank you so much. If you're using sunscreen, you're using it during the day, and you're using tretinoin at night. You shouldn't be using tretinoin during the day. So I'm not sure if that's what the question was or if that was the challenge, but I know you got cut off. Yeah, right. I mean, some ordinary stuff, it does nothing for you. What would you suggest in place of retinol? I can't use retinol or squalane. Bakuchi oil. Try bakuchi oil as an option. That would be a replacement for retinol. It's a decent retinol alternative. Biossance has a decent bakuchi oil. There's a company called The Art of, oh man, what is it? I'll have to think of the name of it, but it's a Korean owned company. It's a guy that is, he is, it's got like a white bottle and they've got a blue bottle. I'll think of the name of it in a minute. But if you DM me, Constance, I'll give you a specific name of some vodka oils you can try. Would I recommend laser or red light for anti-aging? And any specific company? Red light is great for anti-aging. Laser, you would have to go to a dermatologist or a plastic surgeon to get done. And then I would say, let's see. I have a few masks that I have been looking at actually lately. Um, and there's one that's really good that actually I thought could be really cool. There's the Magellan, and then there's the Omnilux. Also light stem. It's not a mask per se, but you can get it at home. Saluma is another one that you can try. It's not a mask, but it's what like I use in my practice, and it's something that you can actually get at home and then just try. You sit under it, but it doesn't like sit like a mask. So you can try any one of those, and those Omnilux, Magellan. Yeah, Omnilux, Magellan. Try Magellan and see if you like that. But I don't have a laser recommendation because I'm not licensed to do laser in the state of California. But as far as red light, I would try those. Thank you so much for the follows, everyone. Thank you so much for the likes. I really appreciate all of everything that you've been asking and what we've been talking about. What are any ingredients or products that will fade dark spots from picking skin? Um, I hope you stop picking skin. I hope that's the first step that you've at least attempted to. I know it can be hard. And then as far as ingredients or products, so it's not just one ingredient. It's going to be a multitude of things that you would help fade your hyperpigmentation from trauma. And I call it my mate's method. You can go to the top of my page. You can download my free guide, and it will walk you through it. If you are still dealing with like acne, I have an acne guide, Heal, Fade, Glow, and it walks you through skin barrier, healing your skin from acne, as well as fading your hyperpigmentation. And it gives you a full plan for all of that. But as far as ingredients, retinoids, uh, tyrosinase inhibitors. So you would do kojic acid, tranexamic acid, alpha arbutin. All of those help with fading hyperpigmentation because they help with blocking the production of melanin. And then exfoliants, glycolic acid, lactic acid, mandelic acid. It not only exfoliates the skin, but it helps with, it acts as like a brightener. And it does have some tyrosinase inhibiting qualities. And then, yeah, I would say those would be the main ones. There are different like antioxidants and different peptides. Resveratrol is an antioxidant that also helps with fading hyperpigmentation. Glutathione is an antioxidant that helps with fading hyperpigmentation. As far as products, Hyper Even works really well as a vitamin C. Undefined is also another vitamin C serum with tyrosinase inhibitors. Um, Beauty Stat has a really good peel that can help with just exfoliating. Dr. Dennis Gross peel pads. As far as retinoids, Medigate, Geek and Gorgeous, Avene, Naturium, they all have retinaldehydes. Skin Script has a renewing serum that I really love, and that can help with fading hyperpigmentation. Um, Copper peptides, growth factors, they all just support the skin barrier. So as you're fading hyperpigmentation, they can really support that. They don't actively fade hyperpigmentation though. Allies of Skin has quite a few really good formulated products that can help with fading hyperpigmentation. I hope that was enough for you. I just ran through a lot. Yes, I understand and think the word limit cut me off. I'm trying to figure out a good sunscreen for, yeah, that keeps cutting you off, huh? For sensitive, oily skin. I know there's a purge with Tread, so I need a sunscreen on how to react. Try Eucerin has a sunscreen that's specifically formulated for oily skin. If you go to my Amazon storefront, I think I added it to my sunscreens. If you don't see it there, then DM me and I will send you a link to that specific one. But it's specifically for like oily skin. As far as sensitive skin goes, just physical sunscreens, mineral sunscreens are the thing that you would want to use. Just stay away from chemical sunscreens. Chemical sunscreens are going to be the thing that burns over a physical sunscreen. So if you're using a tinted sunscreen, most all tinted sunscreens are physical. So any of the ones that I've suggested, all could work for sensitive skin. And even if you are purging, even if you're not purging, you want to be using like a tinted sunscreen if you have any sort of hyperpigmentation. But that can all help. I hope that was helpful. Yeah, you do have to be super careful when treating. Yep, absolutely, Jackie. Yeah, IPL for skin of color is a no-no. I like maybe there's doctors out there that can do it, but it's not recommended. What are good products for under eye dark circles? Usually, I'm sorry, Medigate has a really good retinaldehyde for dark under eye circles. Dermatology, DRMTLGY. They have a really great retinaldehyde for under eye circles. And then I would say Beauty of Joseon has a retinol and green tea serum for underneath the eye that you can try too. Combination of retinoids at night and then vitamin C during the day is what you want to be doing whenever you have dark eye circles. C. Oh, I didn't forget you in the DMs. I did not. I had a crazy week last week. It was insane. I just started like answering DMs again today. I'm trying to fit them in where I can. So I'll definitely be. I did not forget about you, C. I really thank you for the reminder. I appreciate it. Fungal safe SPF. You get fungal all over your forehead. Carrie, you wanna if you are continuing to get fungal acne on your forehead, you have to deal with that first, and that it's like definitely if like oh man, I can't think. If you are using like anti-dandruff shampoo to help with the fungal acne, azelaic acid, a lot of those like basic over-the-counter treatments, and that is not working, then you have to go to a dermatologist and get that fixed first. Because if you keep getting fungal acne, that has something to do with a hat that you're wearing, sweating, something's happening up here that is causing that fungus to constantly produce. Like fungal acne on a regular basis is not like a thing that is normal. So if you're constantly getting fungal acne, you want to get that together first. It's not like the SPF. All SPF is safe for fungal acne. It's not. There's not SPF that's not safe, as far as I know. As far as I've read and researched, there's not like SPF that's not doesn't work for fungal acne. But if you have fungal acne, you keep getting fungal acne, you got to take care of the fungal acne or understand what is causing the fungal acne. Because like just kind of like putting on something on top of it and being like, well, I'm just going to always get fungal acne. That's not like a normal thing. So definitely go get that checked out with a dermatologist. Hi Jackie. How long have I been an esthetician? For a little over a year now. So I've been licensed for over a year. I was in marketing for about 25 years. So I switched careers and I fell in love with skincare years ago. And I had a really bad experience with an esthetician as well as with several dermatologists. And I wanted to jump into this, but I also want to build my own skincare line, and I also want to have a skincare store. I want to change my store to evolve it to host products from Black-owned beauty companies and companies that are owned by people of color. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. So, it's from a skincare perspective. I love helping people because I think that there's a lot of disparities in the space of beauty industry. I think there's too much misinformation online. And there's not enough research that's done for skin of color. So that way there's enough products out there that are relating to what works best for us and our skin issues. So that's why. KK, I didn't skip your question. I didn't skip your question, love. I literally just saw hers first. So let me see. I didn't skip your question, but let me see if I can go back to it. I have not seen it up in this chat yet. Let me think. You know what, CC? Do me a favor. Ask the question again. I know that's not a thing that I asked for here, but ask the question again and I'll get to it. But I didn't purposely skip your question. Just so you know, y'all, when we're in the chat, these things jump. So a lot of times what happens is I'll be answering a question and then all of a sudden it will literally jump to the end. So then I have to go back. If I am holding a if I pin a comment, once a comment unpins, sometimes it will jump. So I'm not like purposely not answering your question. I just have not seen it yet. What about IT Cosmetics for acne prone skin? I think that they do have some options that are available for that. I think IT Cosmetics could work if you have acne prone skin. Yeah, Jackie, it can work for acne prone skin. Let's see. Sorry, y'all, I'm trying to see what other questions I may have missed because Cece threw me off a little bit. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining the live. I'm actually going to be answering a few additional questions and then I'm going to hop off. So if I have not answered your question, then please DM me and I will definitely get to your question in the DM. I do answer my DM. Sometimes it just takes me a little while. Just life be lifing. But I do eventually get to you all's questions as much as I can. And so best eye care for aging, lots of sleep, plenty of water, making sure to stay healthy. That's the best eye care for aging. Outside of that, you can use retinoids at night, vitamin C during the day. And that's where you can get your anti-aging. Andrea, I have normal to dry skin, run outside a lot. Any good recs for daily moisturizers? So you can try, if you have really dry skin, try Round Labs Docado line. That's a good one. Dr. Althea's 147 cream. That's another good one. La Roche-Posay is actually one that's great if you are working out. It's one that I actually used to use a lot. Their triple moisture cream. It's lightweight. It's easy on the skin. It's also inexpensive. So if you're sweating it off, you're not spending a bunch of money on a moisturizer. Don't spend a ton of money on a moisturizer if you're like running outside a lot. And if you're running outside a lot and you're noticing that you are having more drier skin as you're running, then you want to make sure to be wearing SPF when you're outside for a run. I used to run 6 miles a day. I did marathons. I did a triathlon at one point. So the SPF moisturizers work really well. And just get like La Roche-Posay's triple moisture SPF moisturizer, and that way you're staying protected, and that will help with your dry skin. Best products care for hyperpigmentation. Thank you, Afton, for the question. I have a free guide at the top of my page, and you can download it. It walks you through the best care for hyperpigmentation. It's called My Mate's Method: melanin transfer blockers, antioxidants, tyrosinase inhibitors, exfoliants, and SPF. So making sure you have daytime and nighttime within your skincare routine. So during the day, always wearing tinted sunscreen. It's live tinted, say Tower 28, Roche-Posay, Elta MD, Dermatology. Any of those have decent tinted sunscreens. Vitamin C with tyrosinase inhibitors, so that way you're getting your antioxidants in. If you don't want to use vitamin C, fulvic elixir, and then a tyrosinase inhibitor like Faded, that can help with just blocking a lot of those dark spots and just helping with fading dark spots. And then at night, retinoids, that can be retinaldehyde, tretinoin, trazodone, any retinoid across the family could work well, just being consistent and exfoliating 1 to 2 times a week. Lactic, mandelic, glycolic acid. Dr. Dennis Gross Paz is what I always recommend to people. Thank you so much for the follows, guys. I wonder if I'm doing too much. My routine includes cleanser, glycolic acid, salicylic, hyaluronic acid, and moisturizer. Nene, you might be doing too much. If you're using glycolic and is that during the day or is that night? If you're using glycolic and salicylic acid, you might be over exfoliating your skin. What are you using it for exactly? If you don't have acneic skin, then you don't need to use salicylic acid. If you're not trying to clear congestion or deal with acne, or you just have like really oily skin, you don't really need to just be using salicylic acid for the sake of it. um, Glycolic and salicylic together, it depends on how you are using it together. Are you using it as a toner and a serum? Are you using it because it's already formulated together? If you're going to use things with like AHAs and BHAs, don't layer them. Just use a product that's formulated with both. You don't need to layer them unless you're in a situation where you have like a salicylic acid toner and then you want to use a serum. I wouldn't recommend that either. But if your skin can tolerate it, then that might be the only way you would do something like that. But just use a product that's formulated with both. I would say yes, that would be the only thing I would say is over exfoliation. Carrie, I don't. Okay, I think it's fungal acne. I get a lot of closed comedones, so I don't know if they're the same. Fungal acne and closed comedones are not the same. So fungal acne would end up being like clusters of like little pustules, like little mini acne, whiteheads, things like that, and they are usually itchy. So if you're getting that around your forehead, that's different. If you just have closed comedones, you still want to deal with the closed comedones. Any physical sunscreen is fine. But deal with the closed comedones through the use of salicylic acid, exfoliation, azelaic acid is another good option, mandelic acid, and that will help with getting the closed comedones cleared up. Let's see. That's amazing. That's awesome. Thank you so much. What are thoughts about Red 40? Oh, and Hibiclin? I try to stay away from anything that's going to say like any of those types of dyes in skincare products. I don't think it's necessary. I stay away from it. Just like I try to stay away from as many fragrances as possible. So if you are somebody who can deal with that, fine. But I think it's toxic to skin. But that's just from my research. And it's not additive to the skincare. It's not additive to the formulation in any way. I don't understand the point of it being there. So that's my opinion as far as there being like red dye 40 and Hibiclins. I just don't. There's no point. What does it help? So that's what I would say. What's the secret to getting rid of dark circles? There is no secret to getting rid of dark circles. It literally is a combination of your lifestyle, your hereditary, your where you your your lifestyle, your hereditary, where your dark circles are coming from to begin with. That's the first thing you got to figure out. And then outside of that, it's using retinoids at night and vitamin C during the day. Keep it simple, moisturize. And that will slowly fade your dark circles over time. But if you have dark circles that are like hereditary, there's like you're just kind of like fighting. You're just fighting against the dark circle. You can go and get chemical peels that are specific to the under eye area. And if you have hereditary under eye circles, that can help with reducing the pigment pretty significantly. You can also use hydroquinone underneath the eye, which will reduce the pigment significantly if you have hereditary under eye circles. That you cannot get it from over the counter in the United States. You would have to go to like a company like Muesli, and that can you can get it through that if your skin can handle it. It's not what's recommended for most people because their skin can't tolerate sometimes the hydroquinone. So check it out and see what you think. Um, yeah, like Red 40 and Hippoclans, right? Growing baby, like it's just unnecessary. Do I have? I didn't just skip a bunch of questions, y'all. It jumped down, so if I'm gonna go backwards. I agree with your opinion. Do you have a recommendation for folliculitis? You can try topical slather, and that might help with the folliculitis that you might be experiencing. You can also try the body peel by Necessaire, and that may help as well. Nene, you have really oily skin and clogged pores. Let me go back to your question. Thank you so much, y'all, for the questions. I'm actually going to be hopping off the live. We have done, this went way longer than, than I planned. Because there's a lot of questions still left, please DM me your questions and I will answer them. It might take me a little second, but I also am able to give more detailed answers when you DM me, and we can have like a conversation about whatever the issue is, and allows me to ask you questions. So that way you can get some answers, or I can give you recommendations on where you can go to get answers. If you are not following me on YouTube, please do. I'm building up my YouTube channel. I take deeper dives into skincare. I also have a series called the Daily Skin Fix that goes up every Saturday, where I'm answering your specific questions. So if you have a question that you want me to answer in a YouTube video, and you want to be featured on one episode of the Daily Skin Fix, then please DM me or sign up for my email list, or leave a comment on any one of my pieces of content. And that will help get that seen and featured in a future upcoming episode. So I put a lot of work into that, and I want to make sure that you all are getting very comprehensive, science-based information. If you don't follow me on IG, please do. We never know what's going to happen with TikTok these days. So I want to build up our community everywhere we can. So definitely go over to my IG, give me a follow. If you are interested in skincare services, you'll see more of my work over there. I don't really put a lot of my work on here. Every now and again, you might see something, but this is about engaging with you all. And then if you want more information about skincare, if you are looking for guidance, I have my book, Heal, Fade, Glow. I am bootstrapping myself. I am an entrepreneur. This is a business for me. And my goal is to get to a place where I can be of service to more skincare brands of color, as well as creating my own skincare line that is going to be focused on acne and hyperpigmentation. So the sales of that book goes towards the development of my business and the hopefully development of a skincare brand. I'm actually going to be showing you all, I'm going to Makeup in LA, which is a conference that's focused on formulated skincare products. So I'm going to be showing you all my day coming up pretty soon when I go to that conference tomorrow. But all of the sales of your books really helps me to be able to get to a place where I can have a skincare line that is specifically catered to hyperpigmentation. So feel free to go to the top of my page, or you can go to bblskincare.com and you can download a copy of the book. You get a lifetime access to that. So every month that book gets updated. A new update is actually coming up in about a week. And every month you get that. And then pretty soon we'll be creating a community around that. So that way we can talk about hyperpigmentation and acne, and you can ask questions. I'm trying to figure out a Facebook group or otherwise. And then if you are looking for any sort of virtual consultation and you are having questions, you're dealing with acne, you're dealing with hyperpigmentation, you're just dealing with skin that you need to heal and get better, I do offer virtual consultations. A lot of my clients end up like, this is an example of a virtual consultation client, somebody who was really wanting to even up their skin tone. And we've been working together for a little while, and I've been really happy with her results. So make sure you go to bblskincare.com. You can sign up for a virtual consultation. It is a 60-minute session with me, and then we're together for 4 weeks, where I'm helping you through that process. We're talking about skincare. You get access. We're on text together. We're in emails together. And you have somebody who is walking you along that journey. So if you are interested in that, make sure you sign up on bblskincare.com. All right, y'all. You have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. I am here every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. as well as on YouTube streaming live. So make sure that you stay tuned for the next one. And I'm also on live on Sundays at 3 o'clock. So every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then Sundays at 3 p.m. All right. I look forward to seeing you the next time. DM me for any of these follow-up questions that I did not get to, and I will see you all on Thursday. Have a good rest of the day.